Ladies and gentlemen, and genetic anomalies, what is happening? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I hope that today's stream makes your day at least a little bit better. I am coming to you live from the East Coast of the United States of America, and today we're doing a little bit of a test here. This is something that I've never done before. We are doing a multi-stream, which should be fun, should be interesting. So I am attempting to go live on 3 different platforms. The first platform is, of course, YouTube, which is my favorite platform, to be honest. My second platform is, hold on, let me see. My second platform is Kick. So I'm also attempting to live stream on Kick. And the third platform is Rumble. And I'll talk about those decisions here in a bit. But you know, first things first, I do want to see if these streams are actually working. Okay, it looks like what is it? The Rumble stream? Looks like the Rumble stream is working just fine. Let me check Kick. I'm not sure about the Kick stream. This is going to be a little experimental, so this is not going to go as smoothly as most of my streams I'm expecting. Okay, here we go. We've got the Kick stream working as well. Hold on, there we go. I gotta mute this. There we go. Yep. So we've got the Kick stream locked and loaded. Hold on, why did it unmute itself? Okay, hold on. Let me just mute that tab. It's ridiculous. Okay. I should be able to. Oh, wait. So sorry, I'm looking at stuff behind the scenes here. Now, there's another component to the stream. Okay, here we go. There's another component to this stream that I'm also going to try and keep an eye on is multi-chat or whatever, unified chat or whatever. So right now I have this. This is from Social Stream. What I'm hoping that this lets me do is see chats from various platforms and also add little commands. In this program, they're known as bots. So what those bots let me do is, oh, oops, I did not mean to bump this. What the bots let me do is do things such as, like, let's say someone says like ! Say, then it would mean that whatever that message is said into the live chat. So I'm gonna try this from the YouTube end. Okay, so I'm gonna send a message preceded by ! Say, and then we'll see if that shows up in my multi-chat or not. I hope that it shows up in here. Let me see. Oh, hold on. I didn't enable the text-to-speech. Let me see. Where's the part where I can change the, hold on, wait. You know what? Maybe I need to close this and restart it. Okay, hold on. Auto find and activate. What is this coming from? Okay. Let's see. Okay, hold on. I'm bumping this up. Okay, I'm gonna send a test message. Wait, hold on. Reload all streams. Is this it? Hold on, I don't think this is working. I'm gonna have to go into each of these and sign in, I think. Although I signed in before and I did a little test and that worked. Let me see here. You have an existing session for youtube.com. Yeah, I'll keep that session. Hold on, let me try this. Oh, there we go. Okay, hold on. Test, test, test. There. Let's see how many platforms that gets sent to. And by the way, I do appreciate you guys all sitting through this as I figured this out. You know, this is what experimental streams are for, because you guys know, of course, there's the Bro SMP, which I used to hop on every Sunday. I plan on coming back to that. Hold on, there we go. I plan on coming back to that. So this stream is sort of to like get all those kinks sorted out, so that way by the time it's time for me to actually go live with my siblings, everything will be working smoothly. Let's see, aiming. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this works. Okay, that looks like it's working. Okay, let me sign into Kick as well. All right, good, good, good. Okay, I think I'm starting to make some progress here, boys. Apparently I needed to sign in to all of the agents for my chat beforehand, which I thought I was already signed in, but okay. Let's see. And then Kick is requiring the multi-factor authentication, which I frankly find a bit tedious, but it is what it is. You know, I understand that there's, you know, security reasons for the requirements that they have. So let's see. And let me just check and make sure that I'm not missing any messages in the meantime, because I definitely don't want to be missing any messages. Okay, good, good, good. All right. All right, one last one, and then I'm going to send some test messages into the chat. Let's see. All right, now I'm going to reload my multi-streaming dock. Let's see if this works. Okay, test. Oh, wow. Okay. That worked really well. So the message got sent to all the platforms, it looks like. I mean, and you know what's funny? One of the main reasons why I'm not, and actually, hold on, there's one more thing. I had a, what is it called? Any message containing say will be read out. Okay, good. So if I do say test. So this should be read out loud. Hold on, wait a second.
No Team BVOD says test.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so the TTS is working. Now, I could toggle whether or not the say is activated or not throughout the stream, but I'm just gonna keep it running for now, just so that those of you who are new or whatever and want to have TTS messages, those will get read out. We've already got our first spam chatter, so that's cool. I don't even know if I can do like admin things. Wait, so this is basically like Chatterino. I can do like admin stuff. That's awesome. All right, that's what's up. That's very cool. So now I've got a unified chat. So anything you guys say should be showing up here. Now, if you guys notice anything amiss, hold on, I'm actually going to turn this off. But yeah, if you guys notice anything amiss during the stream, please check the Discord server, because I'm not going to have like 3 different screens up with all my feeds on it. All right, hold up. There we go. Okay. This is cool. It's very exciting. I'm glad that everything is working well. Everything is running smoothly. But yeah, so one thing I wanted to talk about. So there are a couple things I wanted to talk about. First of all, I'm sure you guys all noticed that I am broadcasting now from a very different location and a very different setup than where I was before. So I had sort of teased in a previous stream that, I'm going to have to stop streaming or whatever. Well, that is because I moved to a different location, the location where I sort of have more control over my space. Also, a place where I can have, a setup that's more akin to what I've always wanted for a dream setup. Now, for those of you watching this, no, this is not the dream setup that I have, but I want something like a little bit simpler. I kind of want to go for a feel that I've seen in some of like Stephen A. Smith's streams, kind of something maybe a little bit more buttoned up, a little bit more professional. So, I know that the common streamer look is to kind of like have all these lights on in the background and stuff. That's not something that I want to go for in this era. What I eventually would like to do is have a green screen behind me, and then have kind of like the type of thing that you would see like ESPN guests speaking in front of, for example. So kind of a look like that is something that I want to sort of like lean into, and we'll see how well that works moving forward. I don't know if that's something that I'll be able to achieve with this setup, but we will see. I will most certainly do my best. Also, another thing about me streaming from another studio is that now I'll be able to stream later on into the evenings. There's no guarantee that you'll see a whole lot of late night streams from me, but you very well might. So I'm looking forward to that as well. That is actually going to be awesome, because there are like shooting games and stuff that I've really wanted to stream and really wanted to play, but just because of restraints in my previous space, I wasn't able to do all that. But now I am, so you probably are going to see more like PUBG streams. I might bring back the CSGO streams or CS2 streams. It's Counter-Strike 2 now. So all those things I really want to do. Now, there's the other piece of this as well, which is I'm now multi-streaming. I'm not only streaming on YouTube, but I'm now streaming on Rumble, and I'm streaming on Kick. Why did I decide to do that? Well, there are a few reasons why I decided to do that. The primary one is that it's just good, I think, to be on multiple platforms. If you're banned on one platform, then boom, you can just get started on the next platform. But on top of that, I think that there are probably people on like Rumble, for example, who would enjoy my content, but it just hasn't been served to them yet. And so kind of like me being on Rumble, me being on Kick, sort of, I don't know, it expands my my reach. It expands my reach and makes me more accessible to more people. So, I want to be accessible to more people, so that's why I'm multi-streaming. Now, my big complaint with getting everything set up is that I have multiple channels on YouTube, and I've got like a big backlog of videos on both like the streams channel and the highlights channel. And I was like, you know what? I want this content to be over on the Rumble channels, because I made Rumble channels that sort of align with the exact same thing that all my my YouTube channels align with. So I was like, you know what? I want to mirror those channels, and they literally have a whole system for syncing content from your YouTube channel over to your Rumble channel. I signed up for all of that. I signed into everything properly. I actually went back and checked it later on to make sure I was doing it correctly. I was, and it didn't work. none of my content has been syncing, even though I think the content has been set to sync for, at least 2 or 3 weeks now. So when it comes to that, I am most certainly somewhat perturbed, but it's not super important to me. I've got other things going on in my life. So, that has not been a priority for me. All upcoming videos that you will see on the Non-Newbie Highlights channel moving forward should be mirrored over to the Rumble channel. And then at some point, I'll figure out what to do about the backlog of videos. I would love to have the entire backlog of Non-Newbie Highlights videos and Non-Newbie Streams VODs up on Rumble, but I just don't have the time to either go and download everything or try to find some sort of support or go all over the place looking for help on how to get this done. So right now, that's not something that I'm going to be diving into. If you guys know how to do that, though, leave a live chat, leave a comment. I would be more than willing to take your advice and take your input and your feedback. But this is a brand new era. This is a brand new era of the Non-Newbie streams. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think I should go ahead and hit the ground running. I'm pretty sure that there are some things that you guys have requested that I talk about and request that I cover. Don't forget, the link is on screen to the Discord server where you can request that I react to certain things. And there are big news stories that I plan on hitting later on today. But the first thing I want to do is go through things that I've sent into the React request channel. A lot of them are I think these are interesting stories to cover. But also sometimes you guys send me interesting things as well. So hold on, I'm going to try and grab something. Oops. Because there are a lot of things, and I'm sure you guys are going to be like, oh, cover the ice stuff, cover this and that. I will get to everything to the best of my ability. But we've just got a whole lot of stuff here that I just want to make sure that I don't neglect. All right, hold on. Here we go. So we've got this video here. This is from Lucy Rodin. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. It's called "Why Do College Football TV Personalities Hate College Football?" This should be interesting. I'm a big college football fan, as you guys know. You know what? I should actually go through my whole playoff thing and what I got right and wrong and stuff. It wouldn't be very fun. I'll do that another day. But yes, here's the video. Why do college football TV personalities hate college football?
Joel Klatt came out this week with a take that is so bad that I had to do my hair not well today, if we're being honest. Put on
Really? I actually like Joel Klatt. I wonder what he said. That was so bad and egregious.
some mascara, sit down, set up my camera and my microphone, because I just can't let that happen without a response. So he went on some show and said that we don't want Cinderellas in college football.
I remember this. I hated this. I hated this take. I hated this take. This take was so bad, so dumb, and so stupid.
1, speak for yourself. 2,
That's a different show on Fox. FS1, I think. No, didn't they cancel that? They canceled that show.
shut up. And he said that the NCAA tournament, like March Madness, is the worst tournament in sports, the dumbest one. Shut up again.
Wait, he said March Madness is the worst tournament in all of sports? That's kind of insane. I think March Madness is actually the best tournament in all of sports. Now, I am not going to really rush to sort of give my opinion on the NFL, because I haven't really followed the NFL very closely until this past year, and even then I didn't follow it super closely. I just watched Red Zone every Sunday or so, and that was pretty much it. But I would say March Madness is better than the NFL playoff, because you have more parity all across the tournament. One problem that the NFL has had is that from what I've heard, I've been asking people questions and things, but one problem that the NFL has had historically is that there's not exactly parity across the AFC, between the AFC and the NFC. So you can have these really competitive tournament games or playoff games or whatever. You can have these really competitive playoff games, but in the end, the Super Bowl itself might not end up being that competitive, and then you kind of a blowout Super Bowl game. In March Madness, you don't have that. It's all spread out pretty well, to the point where if everybody wins, you've got like 4 number ones in the final 4. What I'm saying is not if everyone wins. If there are no upsets, then you get to the final 4 and you've just got 4 ones. That could happen. And those teams are also good that those games would all be competitive and you would end up with a really good national championship game. When was the last time we had a blowout March Madness championship game? I can't think of that time, personally. But we've had blowout college football championship games, and we've had blowout NFL championship games. So, I do think that that makes March Madness a better tournament than those other tournaments.
And that it is the least fair tournament in sports. I've always said men should not have access to microphones. This is why I think that. Joel Klatt saying this super dumb, stupid take, which is just a bad one, has sort of been a pattern that I've noticed this year, and maybe it's because I'm more in the media space than I previously have been, and the conversation around college football has been more, heated recently, but the voices that represent this sport, the ones with the largest platforms and the biggest audiences and the most power, have really seemed to not like this sport very much. I think you can go back as to the Lane Kiffin saga, where you were seeing the way that sort of the College Game Day crew was really riding for Lane Kiffin to get everything he wanted, and it felt kind of yucky. Felt kind of gross. And then you move on to Notre Dame getting left out of the playoff and 2 Group of 5 teams getting in. And there's a whole video I made on this that you should check out. And you have Paul Feinbaum telling everybody that the Group of 5 should not be there. They shouldn't be allowed.
Oh, yeah, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. I actually understand being mad that Notre Dame didn't get included, because they were a pretty good team, and I think they could have been competitive in the playoffs. But the idea that we shouldn't have group of 5 schools is ridiculous. I think that the Group of 5 schools being included in the playoffs is arguably the most interesting thing about the playoffs. No, not the most interesting thing. It was one of the most interesting things about the playoffs this year, was them being included, because people are like, how well are they going to do? Are they going to be able to beat teams from more prestigious conferences? These were all really interesting questions that we tuned in to see if they were true. Now, the one thing I would have done, I heard the recent announcement that they're not expanding the playoff. The one thing I would have done is actually added 1 game to the playoff and added 1 team to the playoff. I personally think that they should add an additional team for the a group of 5 teams to play each other. It should be a play-in game. And then one of those teams plays, fills in one of the slots in the college football playoff, in the following round. So you'd have basically one round where it's just 2 Group of 5 teams going at it. I personally think the Group of 5 conferences would love that as well, because they'd be like, oh, this is great for our own sort of notch, if you will, in our own category of the FBS, which is we're in the FBS, we're not in the FCS, but we're not as prestigious as the other conferences. We have our own national champion. So you have this game in the playoff where it's the 2 Group of 5 schools that the College Playoff Committee deems to be the best. They play each other, and then you have a team that's crowned as the Group of 5 champion. I think that's cool. I think it's a really cool concept. And you have a game that's more competitive than the previous Group of 5 games, because they weren't really that competitive. And so then that would probably boost ratings and things, so that then you're not in a situation where these ADs or whatever, or the conferences, the networks or whatever, are looking at these games and reevaluating. They're like, why are we letting in Group of 5 teams play when they're blowouts and they don't do well for ratings? As well for ratings as a game with more parity would have throughout the course of the game, right? People are going to tune out at halftime if one team is beating the other by 30 points. That's just the reality of things. That's how most people roll. So that sort of would remove that issue as well. Also, it would reduce the amount of blowout games you would have in that first round, theoretically, because you've only got 1 Group of 5 school instead of 2 Group of 5 schools.
Sankey is pissed off because he was actively campaigning for 7 SEC teams to get into the college football playoff.
Ridiculous.
These voices who are in charge of college football just shitting all over it all the time. And to the point where so many of these people have had to come out and be like, hey, no, we at ESPN, we're not here to promote one conference or another. Like Nick Saban's cracking jokes about it, but you can feel sort of this resentment for what college football is from these voices that should be convincing you to love it. And for me, as a fan, and I guess sort of a media member myself, I don't really know. I wouldn't call myself that. I know how I behave. I don't think I've earned that title. It's really like bumming me out. Like, shut up. Because for me, when I look at what makes college football great, and I think the consensus of college football fans would agree with this, is it is not the 12-team playoff. It is not a Georgia-Alabama national championship game. It is when App State beats Michigan, and how that is still such an insane part of the culture in Western North Carolina. I grew up an hour from there, and you cannot go anywhere without seeing somebody wearing a 2007 App State Michigan shirt. They still sell them at the Walmart. Or the insane vitriol and hate and energy of a Red River rivalry game. Or any of these regional rivalries that mean so much to these teams, where Texas A&M should be the happiest team in the world because they're going to the playoff, and they're all still pretty bummed out about not beating Texas. And the pageantry of it all, Texas A&M is the perfect example for that, of there's the weird stuff they got going on down there. College football's simple purpose was, let's see the best teams play each other, and that is it.
Right.
That is what we want. We want to see the best teams win and the best teams advance and everything about the best teams. And everything about the best teams. I would watch the NFL. I would simply watch the NFL. Because the NFL...
No, because I get what you're saying. I disagree. I get what you're saying, but I disagree. Because here's the thing. The NFL and college football just feels so different. You've got live bands playing. You don't have copyrighted music playing. You don't have like 5 copyrighted songs playing every 30 seconds like you do in the NFL. It's just different. You've got younger players. To me, it's just like to say, oh, if I wanted to watch the best teams, I would play the NFL. I mean, I would watch the NFL. That may be true when we're talking about athleticism, but I mean, when it comes to the style of play that's in college, and not just the style of play, but just the atmosphere, I have not seen. Now, I probably need to watch more NFL, but I have not seen an NFL crowd that has rivaled the best 5 college football crowds I've observed in me watching the college football this past year. I haven't. There's just a level of pageantry and passion that you don't get when you have 45-year-old dads on the verge of divorce with beer bellies trying to stay awake when they have work in the morning. That just doesn't carry the same level of excitement and electricity that you get in a college football frat-infused environment where you've got 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, running around shirtless at a college football stadium, chugging beers, and you shouldn't be drinking if you're underage, but chugging beers and getting really rowdy, letting off a lot of steam after having to perform as well as you want to, put it as much effort as you want into your academics Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all throughout the entire week. Finally, you have a day sort of like let out all of the pent-up energy that you've had. Finally, you have a day to have fun with your friends. In the NFL, you've already had Saturday, right? You've already had Saturday to chill and to relax, to do other things that you enjoy. And so, like, by the time Sunday rolls around, you have the doom of Monday looming above your head, right? You have like other family members, probably because you're older, you got more responsibilities. There's just like a level of you could just like let loose. There's a feeling of being able to just like let loose and have fun as a college football fan on a Saturday that you just don't get on a Sunday. Just there's so much more passion, so much more energy. You can even say that you want that passion and energy more than you want to see like the greatest athlete in the world throw a football, right? Because it all adds together, right? It all adds together. You probably wouldn't watch NFL games if the stadiums were empty, right? I'm not saying that the NFL atmosphere totally sucks, but it's just worse than college. You wouldn't watch the best athletes throw the ball around if the stadium was empty. So having the best players on the field isn't the most important thing in the world when it comes to deciding which league you want to watch.
NFL is objectively a higher quality version of what these people
Also, I want to add that rivalries also being I think they're fiercer in college than in the NFL. For the most part, these fierce rivalries in college are also something to come to, right? Because you are not going to have something like Alabama Auburn in the NFL. Like maybe there's like one or so rivalry that's like that, but you don't have like these dime a dozen rivalries that are very intense, and regardless of the level of play, there's always something special to those games, right? So there's that aspect of it as well.
Want college football to be. My favorite parts about college football are the upsets, are the weirdness. This was such a moment that like I became a true hater, was the reaction to Duke making the ACC championship game. How silly is that? How
that was
objectively
crazy.
Funny, and how purely college football it is for Duke, who was 7-5 and had lost to UConn, to somehow through a weird rule make it to the ACC championship game. That is college football. That's why I like it, because there is so much weirdness and chaos and just like an insane nature to it. The heart of the college football season is the regular season and the weirdness and the chaos and the culture and how deeply people care. Obviously, the sport has become way more professional and capitalistic over the last few years with NIL and conference realignment.
While this is true, I still think that the game on the field is still the game on the field, right? I do think conference realignment has sort of messed with schedules in a way that's a little bit unfortunate, but still, the product on the field is pretty fire. So I wouldn't say that the capitalism has ruined the sport at the moment.
And the transfer portal and every sort of thing that's going on. And I don't think it's wrong to say that there are a lot of issues in college football. I agree. There are so many issues with the foundation of how college football is set up.
Oh, we've got Mr. Pizza on YouTube saying A808 Newsbeat on YouTube, Kick and Rumble. Yes, I'm attempting multi-streaming. Bro, I would stream on Twitch as well if they had better free speech and they let you show the multi-stream. Like, look, if I showed this on Twitch, they would ban me. Or like, if someone told me, reported me, whatever, I would get banned. It's against the rules. So I'm like, you know what? If you're going to be hostile, Twitch, I'm not going to join your platform. I'm just not. So I'm on the platforms that aren't hostile. I'm on Kick. I'm on Rumble. I'm on YouTube. Those are the best platforms. It's crazy to me that we've got like 4 platforms, like Twitch, YouTube, Kick, or Rumble. Of all of those, frankly, Twitch is the worst one to be on. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, that's just boggles my mind, because when it comes to people making desktop content like this, Twitch was sort of like a pioneer for that. And it somehow has gone from being a pioneer to being like the worst platform in a matter of like I don't even know how many years, but it's to the point where it's a little bit dramatic. But yeah, Mr. Pizza. So actually, honestly, check out the YouTube stream, but also check out the Kick stream and check out the Rumble stream, and let me know which experience you prefer. I would actually love to hear what you think about my experience on the different platforms. I would actually love to hear your experience on the different platforms and like which you prefer and which you like better.
But the sport itself is still pure. The sport itself still rules. Memphis beating Arkansas rules. UCLA beating Penn State is awesome. Where Joel Klatt would tell you, no, Penn State should have won because they're more talented. We want to see the best team win. No, we don't. We want to see this sport play out in the way it was meant to, which is with complete and total chaos. I just don't know any sport where, one, the people who support it hate it so much. Like, okay. And two, the idea of hating a Cinderella, like, what is wrong with you? Like, what are we doing? It's very...
I will say that I think, like, let's take JMU, for example, being in the college football playoff. I think the fact that they're in the college football playoff is interesting, and people will want to hear TV personalities talk about, that team being in the playoffs from that perspective. But when you go beyond that, it's like, I don't know how many people actually care about JMU versus care about a Notre Dame. When you're at a point where you have teams that people don't really care about on their own, getting put into the college football playoff above teams that people actually care about, I can see why TV personalities specifically would be a little upset, because it's like, man, we could be talking about the Fighting Irish for 3 more weeks, but instead we're talking about, JMU for like 1 or 2. I can understand why some personalities would be irked, because at the end of the day, personalities generally will try to push for the thing that makes for the best television, maybe not necessarily, or makes for the best ratings for them. Maybe not the thing that's best for the sport, or is the most fair even.
Very emblematic of our current day and age in society. We're like, we hate the little guy. What? I don't know. It's just been so disheartening for me as a fan of this sport, because the people who I used to really enjoy what they have to say, I don't really want to listen to anymore, because it's just bringing this level of like darkness around something that's not that dark. There are issues, but at the end of the day, it's college football, man. This is not the end of the world. For me, looking back at college football, my favorite moments ever are the weird ones and the underdog ones, and I think most college football fans would agree. I don't know. It's just made me sad recently, because I'm trying to find... I want to consume content by people who actually love college football. It just makes me sad, because loving college football is not something that is lame. It's very cool, actually. It's very cool. I'm very popular. I have a lot of friends. But I didn't blend my concealer that well. Whoopsies. I promise to love college football on this channel, so.
Same. And I love college football as well. And one thing is, like, with my content as well, I mean, I love politics, but like, I want to make content that goes beyond politics as well. So like, college football is like a really easy avenue for me to do that, because I genuinely love college football. So yeah. Mr. Pizza said in the YouTube chat, by the way, I sent you something dope in React requests. Okay, hold on. Looks like you sent me this. What's this? Never miss a post from Mr. Pizza Sus YT. Hold on. What's
now,
this?
Bo,
oh,
the
it's me!
former champion.
Okay, hold on. Wait. So the viewers who don't have context, Mr. Pizza, he does like these CPU versus CPU wrestling matches, records them, does commentary over them, and then posts them on YouTube. He's got like this whole this whole tournament, I believe, if not an entire season. I was in there, and I think I did okay. I think I did all right. I showed up, I showed out, and I reacted, I think, to all of my performances in the first season. I haven't reacted to all of my performances in the second season yet, but apparently I had an appearance here. I didn't know about this, actually. I kind of been off the grid with all like the moving and stuff, but yeah, let's check this out.
From last season, the man who had 10 successful title defenses in a row, who never even lost a hardcore title, not even once.
I gotta roll over and get up.
Gonna look to reclaim that title again. I mean, Bo out of literally.
But you know what? This stoner Bo dude is like actually pretty good.
Out of literally everybody from last season, a championship.
Bro, I can't let him stun on me like that. That's crazy.
The longest, and almost nearly became a dual champion as well. And now he's hammering away on Not a Newbie. I mean, Not a Newbie, kind of like Jinxie, he had an upset victory in that hardcore championship tournament where he managed to capture the championship. And
oh man, that is rough. That is rough. That's rough. Also, fun fact, Mr. Pizza, I should have mentioned this in the Discord server. If you add exclamation point say at the beginning of your message, then the TTS will say the message. I don't know if you want to take advantage of that, use it, abuse it, whatever you want. It's yours to do with as you will. So yeah, I have a working TTS now that doesn't just blurt out every single message. Now it can only say the messages where people really want to be heard. So yeah, just so that you're aware.
I mean, it was good stuff for Not a Newbie at the time too. Don't get me wrong, because like, Not a Newbie was also kind of on the underrated side.
You only showed me getting my butt kicked though.
He really wanted to prove that he was championship material, and he finally got the chance to do so. But now he's got to prove. Now he's got to prove everybody that he deserves to hold that championship.
Okay.
And Not a Newbie. Look at springboard athleticism as he hits that Hurricane Rana right there. I mean, Bo is obviously coming out fight fire of fire right now because he's sick and tired of it. He just doesn't
I didn't get him.
like
I didn't get him. Man, I thought I got him for a second there.
Newbie possesses what he believes is his championship.
Oh.
And now,
hey, there we go.
Not a Newbie manages to reverse the motion right there. And Not a Newbie, he's kind of struggling to keep up right now.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's the thing. Bo's been
I'm staying up, but I'm not like dominating or really like keeping him down.
Training to trying to surpass every.
Now, one thing is I can't let him get the black chair because that'd be cultural appropriation.
Everybody else to make sure that they can't compete with him. I mean,
I feel like I'm going to lose if this momentum is going to.
Now he's more of the aggressor now because he's put in a lot of the extra training right now to do so. And now Not a Newbie just trying to create a little bit of distance, trying to hoist him up for a back suplex, but Bo right back on the offense right now. And Not a Newbie is somehow able to withstand that kick to the skull, and he manages to drop both a knee strike, drilling it right into his nose. Kick to the lower back.
There we go.
I mean, we talk about trying to slow Jinxie's offense down. How are you going to slow Bo's offense down? You really have to slow it down, as Not a Newbie is managing to do so, just barely though. Oh my god, Not a Newbie. What is he looking for here? Might be looking for the brainbuster to move that won him the championship in the tournament.
MR Pizza says,
Bo managed to slip out of it.
PWS on Instagram is separate from the main series on YT.
Oh, I see. Okay. PWS is on Instagram is separate. Oh, I didn't know that. Because I thought, is it PWS Speed? Is that what it's called? So it's kind of like shorter matches, shorter content. That's cool.
A little bit of the reverse of the Irish whip right there. And Not a Newbie. Forearm shot to the skull. And oh my god, slingshot DDT on the apron. And I don't care who you are, that will slow your momentum. That will halt your momentum, if anything. That'll put you down. And now Not a Newbie he smells blood. Not a Newbie seeing that he's got the advantage right now as he hit that enziguri right there. And now he's going for the table right now. You know, setting up a table. I mean, and now Bo is reeling from that slingshot DDT on the apron.
Here we go. We got the crowd going wild. Okay, the crowd's behind the right man.
His momentum is slowed a lot, but he had to go for a roll-up to try to regain control in this matchup. And that table, oh my god, the table might backfire on Not a Newbie. And Bo maybe looking for a flapjack through the table, but Not a Newbie fights out of it. You don't want to go through the table that you set up. Twisted Hurricane Rana right there. Bo manages a kip up right now, but and now hammering away. Nice back and forth offense, but yeah, it's no doubt proven here as there's a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker.
Nice.
That slingshot DDT.
But bro, hold on. That ref has to get out of the way. I can't see a thing, okay? The ref's got to get out of the way.
That slowed Bo down completely. He's moving a lot slower than he usually does. So I think it's safe to assume that, yeah, the damage was done. But still, Bo. And there's a flapjack manages to put Not a Newbie through the table. He completely ignored it. Kept up. But Bo manages to get him up. There's a feast your eyes right there. And the cover. 1, 2. And Not a Newbie manages to kick out.
I was scared. I thought it was
nearly
out.
reclaiming his hardcore championship. And now Bo, oh my god, what's he gonna look for here? He's pulling a ladder out right now. Oh my god, he's setting up a ladder bridge between the apron and the announce table right now. That cannot bode well for either man if one of them is to go through it. You know, Bo trying to play a little bit of, they're playing a little bit of cat and mouse. Bo rolling through it, but he gets caught.
Oh, come on.
And now, not a newbie. No,
Nice,
oh my God.
nice
Back suplex right there. And now, not a newbie, what could he be looking for here? Maybe, again, probably just trying to create a little bit, look for a weapon, obviously, but he's also looking to create a little bit of separation. And you can't blame him. It's another table. I don't know, man. You brought the table in the first time, and it didn't seem to work out none too well. As he just gets thrown into the steel steps right now. Oh, no. Bo's got a sledgehammer. Oh, not a newbie manages to avoid it. Looking for maybe a Hurricane Rana, but not a newbie gets caught.
And we're giving the crowd a show there, right there. You know, right up the people in the front row.
The Superman punch.
Are getting their money's worth out of this.
What is he going to look for here? Throwing not a newbie down. And Not a Newbie is back to his feet. He's hanging in there. I give Not a Newbie all the credit in the world right now for giving it his all, trying to hammer away. That shot really stunned Bo for a second, but Not a Newbie gets Irish whip. Big spear. And I think that might be it for Not a Newbie.
Yeah, I'm a little worried.
1, 2. No, Not a Newbie manages to kick out. Not a Newbie hanging in there. And Bo does not look none too happy about that. Not a Newbie showing insane resilience here tonight.
I look like I'm about to die. What is this?
No, Bo. There's a slingshot thrust kick right there to the champ. And Not a Newbie. What does Not a Newbie have to do to retain his championship right now? I mean, he's feeling the effects of what it means to be the champion. And and now the sledgehammer into play, but Not a Newbie trying to suck it up. But now Bo is just jamming away right now, and Not a Newbie.
This is not looking good.
And now he's just saying, come on, Not a Newbie, get up. Oh, Not a Newbie rolling through. Drilling forearm shots in right now. And I think Not a Newbie's getting a little bit of a second wind here. But Bo manages to shove him off with his legs. There was no way that was going to work. Not a Newbie pulling himself back to his feet, and Bo now Bo's got a table set up right now. Oh, clothesline collapsing Not a Newbie into the corner right there.
KO actually.
And I mean, Not a Newbie's already gone through one table here tonight. And Bo drops down, throw cross right there. Not a Newbie manages to counter those alternating forearms right there. Not a Newbie is still hanging in there with everything he's got. What a boot to the face right there. That will put you down. And oh my God, Bo just set the table on fire. What the heck? We have a flaming table here tonight, folks. And Not a Newbie, I think. Bo got bounced off his own flaming table right there. That might have completely backfired on him. Not a Newbie was looking for something, but Bo desperately fighting back. These two are fighting near a flaming table right now. And oh man,
that's crazy.
Not a Newbie, what is he gonna look for here? Turning Bo around. And now he's got him where he wants him. Throws him shoulder first into the ring post right now. Oh man, Not a Newbie with a sledgehammer now. Sledgehammer right into the chest and right into the skull. Man, Not a Newbie is fired up here tonight, man.
What?
Give him credit. Those sledgehammer shots looked vicious too. And Bo managed to kick out. Oh my
I thought I had him.
And Not a Newbie, I will give him all the credit in the world. He is fighting back to levels I never thought he'd be fighting back to. But
hey, you know what?
He slid under there, got a knee.
I'm the reigning champion for a reason, okay? I'm the winning champion for a reason. Don't forget that. But don't play with me.
Straight to the skull that drilled him into the ladder bridge there. And look, Not a Newbie, I mean, got a little overzealous. I mean, credit where credit is due. Oh, the table has collapsed now. Thankfully, the fire is out. That could have caused some serious damage. Not a Newbie is still moving with everything he's got. Oh man, whipping Bo onto the ladder.
Wait, what? Okay, I don't know what's happening there. What's happening here?
Oh, Not a Newbie. Oh my God, Not a Newbie climbing to the top rope with a senton right there, putting Bo through the ladder bridge right now. And Not a Newbie, my God, man. Not a Newbie, he's insane. He's really giving everything he's got. Kendo stick shots right now. and Bo manages to take the kendo stick away from him. Nananumi was willing to go as far as to put himself and Bo through a ladder to try to retain his championship, but I think Nananumi paying for it. I think he took a lot out of himself as well. And now Bo's a trash can. Oh my god, Nananumi evading it, and no, he's saying time out, man. Oh, no, Nananumi using it as a distraction. Big pop-up thrust kick right there, and Nananumi landed head first on that trash can on the way down. But that was smart by Nananumi. You know, trying to
says, whoops, forgot to cut the game pause out.
Oh, I see.
Tell Bo, hey, give me a little bit of mercy, man. And I mean, that's what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do. And Nananumi, he's got full advantage right now. And Bo kind of tripped up right now. But now he's fighting back, alternating forearm shots right there. And now he's got Nananumi where he wants him. There's a feast your eyes yet again. And that's gotta be it. 1, 2, 3, and we have a new hardcore champion.
Man. Well, I guess I'm not hardcore then, but that was I gave about as good as I got on that one. I'm pretty happy with my performance there. I mean, that should have ended like way sooner than it did, but it didn't because I had the resilience to push forward and persevere and even, you know, give him a bit of grief. I'm pretty happy with how I did that. So that was cool. Thanks for sending me the link because I didn't know that was happening. Also, I see in Discord, Mr. Pizza, that you're playing BattleBit Remastered. Is that legit? Like, wait, I saw you stream Fortnite now. Are you still streaming Fortnite? You need to promote your streams in my Discord server so that I know when you're live, because I will watch you when you're live if you promote your streams. But I keep forgetting. So definitely let me know the next time you're live, because I do want to check out your streams. Hold on, let me see. Okay. All right, we've got the next video here.
MR Pizza says, I should edit some clips for you again sometime for your Rumble.
If you put them, you should still have access to the highlights channel. If you just go there and upload the videos there as private, and tell me that you've uploaded them, I'll grab them and put them on the Rumble. I think that should be fine. All right. We've got this video here from Big A. This is Atrioc, my favorite Hitman streamer. And also my favorite economics streamer as well, I must say. This is called I Don't See How You Can Defend This. I believe this is about ICE. I'm interested to see what tack he'll take on this one.
Okay, listen. Let's talk about Minnesota. I would like to start. I think it's good to catch everybody up. I'd like everyone to watch this video. Just to start this out, major news in Minnesota. I would like you to watch this video to begin. It's only a few minutes long. It's short. Okay, so this video is good context, but obviously intense. If you wish to skip, go to 4 minutes and 8 seconds. I think it is a really good way to begin.
On Wednesday, in Minneapolis, a federal agent fatally shot a motorist, 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. Trump administration.
MR Pizza says, I'll stream again at some point.
I do wish.
And yeah, I could do that. You could probably dual post on YT and Rumble. So
I did an opening segment about this. I'll post a video about it on the highlights channel, kind of explaining my difficulties with that. I had some trouble with that, but the path moving forward is basically just going to be, you know, any new videos I just post them to YouTube and I post them to Rumble. That's how it's going to go for now. But when the video comes out on Monday or whenever, you can take a look at that as well to see my full thoughts on kind of the whole dual streaming multi-platform situation here. But yeah, let me see. I do wish that he showed the raw footage there. There's actually a whole synced up video I plan on watching later where it shows all the different angles at the same time. I am pretty sure this is before a lot of information about the shooting had come out. But yeah, we can go ahead and just hit play on this still and resume it.
In Minneapolis, a federal agent fatally shot a motorist, 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. Trump administration officials said these were, quote, defensive shots fired because the officer was being run over.
And a woman attacked them, and those surrounding.
Now, I did see all of this footage. I saw most of the angles. In my opinion, personally, if we're talking about strictly defensive, I don't know that any of them could be strictly defined as defensive because he didn't shoot until after he was hit by Renee Nicole Good. Now, I will say the first shot, unequivocally, one could easily make the argument that Jonathan Ross, I believe the guy who shot and killed Renee Nicole Good, the first one was very clearly, I think, legitimate self-defense, fear of life, or not self-defense, but in fear of life or whatever, because he was already hit. So it wasn't like he, that shot was like stopping him from getting hit. But I can imagine him being like, you know what, she already hit me. I don't want her to like pin me against another vehicle. I'm going to shoot her so that she stops driving. But the problem is, I think with the shooting is that the following two shots were after he was already clear the vehicle was passing him. So I think legally, probably he's going to be in the clear because she did hit him with his vehicle. So legally, they're probably going to be like, well, she hit him with the vehicle, so he had reason to be afraid in fear of his life. But I think from a protocol perspective, officers, I think, should be trained to like not shoot at moving vehicles that aren't, giving them immediate danger. So like, to me, I feel like he should probably be suspended and retrained before going back out into the force. Not fired, but suspended and retrained, because he's gotta give him some time to cool his jets, and also be retrained so that he's not letting himself get so close to vehicles like that so that he could be run over. Because the fact that he could have been run over and that when she hit the gas, he could not get out of the way fast enough to not get hit, well, that's a big problem, right? And you don't really see other Leos running around standing right in front of cars. So, I think that there's like some protocol or SOP stuff to where, maybe some of these things should certainly be rethought.
Surrounding them and attempted to run them over.
But our analysis of bystander
and there's a video with way more angles.
Footage filmed from different angles appears to show the agent was not in the path of the victim's SUV when he fired 3 shots.
And that's just not true. Where did he get this video from? That's not true. Maybe it's outdated information though.
At close range. Here's how events unfolded. Moments before the shooting, the victim's maroon SUV.
Just to pause and give you context, this is from the New York Times.
Yeah, then honking that yeah, she was honking and being obnoxious, blocking ICE vehicles, and also trying to alert illegal immigrants who may have been in the area to let them know that ICE was there so that they could leave. Although I don't think that all the honking was necessary, because there were people there blowing their whistles or whatever, and also ICE had a very visible presence like in the street. So like it wasn't like ICE was hiding at that point. I think with the honking that she was doing, she was just trying to be annoying, and she succeeded.
This is their best analysis using multiple video angles.
Multiple unmarked federal vehicles are idling nearby. Secretary Noem alleged the motorist, quote, was blocking the officers in. Bystanders are blowing whistles and yelling at federal agents.
Go home to Texas!
Then, federal vehicles start moving toward the maroon SUV, with sirens and lights blaring.
Yep.
A federal agent films the scene on his phone.
This is actually like good analysis so far, not gonna lie, for the most part, especially for the New York Times.
The driver rolls forward slightly, turning left, then stops and waves for others to go ahead.
Was it ever clear? We'll watch a video of more angles, but I don't know if it was clear that she was specifically trying to wave people over.
For others to go ahead.
She certainly gestures.
2 agents exit this silver pickup and walk toward the vehicle. Moments later, shots are fired. Let's look at the scene again more closely. This is the agent who shoots the driver. He walks around the car filming and disappears from view. Other agents pull up and order the driver to...
There was an angle that showed him, I think, the whole time.
...exit her vehicle. One of them grabs at the door handle and reaches inside. The SUV reverses...
Right, I mean, so he said get out of the car and she didn't get out of the car, right? So...
then turns right, apparently attempting to leave. At the same time, the agent filming crosses toward the left of the vehicle and grabs his gun. He opens fire on the motorist and continues shooting as she drives past. The moment the agent fires, he is standing here, to the left of the SUV, and the wheels are pointing to the right, away from the agent.
So if you watch the other angles, this was after he was hit, but he was still in contact with the car. So like, you know, imagine like we've got like, this is just a rough example until I can get the video pulled up with all the different angles. But essentially, you know, we've got the car here. This is Jonathan Ross, comes all the way around. He's like here. Renee Nicole Good goes like this, making contact with Jonathan Ross, but he doesn't fire until about like here. Still in contact, but then right after he fires the first shot, no longer in contact. So when he fired the first shot, he was in contact with the vehicle. Other two shots, he was clear of the vehicle and was no longer in danger.
This appears to conflict with allegations that the SUV was ramming or about to ram the officer. President Trump and others said the federal agent was hit by the SUV.
Oh yeah, so that video did show that he was hit by the SUV. If you watch it,
President Trump.
It's hard to tell at speed, but if we slow it down,
others said the
you can actually tell that he's being pushed back.
Agent was hit.
So here, so yep, that right there is exactly when he makes contact, and you can see that he's getting pushed back by the vehicle.
By the SUV.
But not for a whole lot. And unfortunately, this video is very grainy, so it's, you know, hard to make out all the details exactly.
Often pointing to another video filmed from a different angle. And it's true that at this moment in this grainy low-resolution footage, it does look like the agent is being struck by the SUV.
I'm glad they admitted that, because at the time when these were like the only angles available, not everyone was admitting that. So props to the New York Times for.
But when we synchronize it with the first clip, we can see the agent is not being run over. In fact, his feet are positioned away from the SUV.
That's hard to tell. Hey, what's up? Let's go. We've got our first genuine kick chatter and first N-word user. So that's what's up. Hey, Saint Hayes, thanks for sending the N-word in my chat. Yeah, I appreciate that. No, in this angle, it's not clear that he's not getting hit because
agent is not being run.
It's like standard blocking. Like anyone who's seen like fake punches in Hollywood, like should understand that just because you can't see the contact doesn't mean it didn't happen. When and that's why in my, you know, when this happened, this all went down, I sort of like reserved my opinion as to whether or not the officer got hit until I saw angles that showed it more clearly. Even the one at the top, not clear. So you'll see in the other footage, it's a bit more clear that he got hit.
But when we synchronize it with the first clip, we can see the agent is not being run over. In fact, his feet are positioned away from the SUV. The SUV crashes into a white car parked down the road.
What the?
A bystander runs toward the collision.
In this part.
The federal agents on scene do not appear to rush to provide emergency medical care. Eventually, the agent who shot the motorist approaches the vehicle. Seconds later, he turns back around and tells his colleagues to call 911.
Shame! You shot someone! You shot someone!
Agents block several bystanders who attempt to provide medical care, including one who identifies himself as a physician.
Can I go check a pulse?
That's good. That's good. Because you have to secure the scene. You can't just let a whole bunch of people run up on the scene on like a crime scene when just because they say they're nurses or whatever.
At the same time, several agents, including the agent who opened fire, get in their vehicles and drive off, apparently altering the active crime scene.
Okay. Wait, what? Wait, they left? Hold on, wait. I didn't know this. That's actually crazy. They left?
I'm a physician.
At the
Them leaving is crazy. Because usually, you know, with something like this, you would get the cops in, they'd interview everyone, they get statements. You want to have investigators take a look at what everything looks like. That's why you don't want bystanders in the scene in the first place. But for them to just leave is crazy.
Same time, several agents, including the agent who opened fire, get in their vehicles and drive off.
So they should not have been allowed to leave.
Apparently altering the active crime scene.
Okay. I think that video makes it so clear that what happened was not the normal course of business for what this officer should have been doing. This is so obviously a murder. This is so obviously
a murder. All right. Well, I like, if your opinion is that like she didn't get hit by the vehicle and, you know, it wasn't apparent that he would get hit by the vehicle, then I can understand that position. Like, if your opinion, even after watching it, and your opinion can be wrong, but if your opinion is she didn't hit him with the vehicle, and from his angle he should have seen that she was not going to hit him with the vehicle, then I would actually agree that it's a murder. I just think with more angles and stuff, that's just not true.
The person with the guns acting outside of the realm of what they are supposed to be doing. And it's very...
And when you say outside the realm of what you're supposed to be doing, I think even though maybe legally he wouldn't be prosecuted, in my opinion, just because of like relatively reasonable fear of fear of death or whatever. I do agree, actually. I do completely agree that, you know, him shooting those last two shots when he was clear of the vehicle was outside the realm of what he was supposed to be doing. Because, like, look, if you're not in the path of a vehicle and a vehicle's driving, and the driver has not really given any indication that the person is there specifically to mow down a whole lot of people, then like you shouldn't be shooting at someone who's driving.
Frustrating to me to see people deny like the basic reality I'm seeing with my eyes from multiple angles.
Now, actually, you know what? I wonder. Did he change his... I'm not going to watch this video because I'm here to react to this specific video. But I wonder, did he ever change his position when he found out that he was wrong? Because, like... Let me see. I don't see how you could defend this. I don't think he... That's... Huh. He didn't make another video about it. But that's disappointing. Now, he streams a lot. Maybe he talked about it on stream and retracted and pulled back his statements. But, you know, I think it's helpful and useful to where, like, if you get something wrong in your stream or in your content you make, to issue corrections. I've issued corrections in the past for things that people didn't even care about, because, or even like apologies or whatever, for things that people didn't even care about, because it's the right thing to do. If you get something wrong, you make a mistake, you gotta get back on the horse and apologize for it. So it's a little bit disappointing that he kind of got this wrong, which is fine to do with the evidence that was available at the time, right? I think around the time that this got uploaded, or streamed, these are probably the only available camera angles. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that, but for him not to later apologize and issue corrections is unfortunate. Although, to be fair, again, you know, he's a streamer. You know, streamers are not premier political commentators, right? So an opinion of someone like him should probably take a little bit less seriously than someone who has media training, even if that person is someone who I think has even worse takes than A-Track. Like, I think like Hassan Piker is a really good example where I think he's been to journalism school or whatever. Like, he's had media training, so he should know better than to sort of get something wrong and then not issue a correction, versus someone like A-Track who, like, he plays Hitman and likes AI, you know? So, you know, they're a little bit different, you know?
From multiple sources. I don't know how to say it clear, so I want to go through. And when I say people, I'm really not just talking about random fucking people on Twitter or bots. There was two things that happened after this action. First, Kristi Noem comes out and says this was an act. This right here. Again, watch it again and listen with the sound. This woman, mother of 3, kid stuffed animal in the car, just dropped her kid off at school, 6-year-old, has stickers on the back of her car. This woman is committing an act of domestic terrorism.
You know, It's interesting. I've heard this line from the federal government lately, and you know what? Like, it wasn't until like just now thinking about like, is this domestic terrorism? Is this not domestic terrorism? I actually disagree with that label, because the primary hallmark, like for this, like even though yes, like I think she's trying to terrorize, you know, agents of law enforcement. I think one of the hallmarks of terrorism is targeting what would be considered non-valid targets with violence, harassment, etc. So that would be like unaffiliated civilians, family members of ICE agents, you know, businesses, housing, churches, like targeting those types of people with violence and harassment. That would be terrorism. If you blow up a police station or something, or you know, a federal government building, not saying that anyone should do this. I actually think that you actively should avoid doing this. Should be something that you try not to do. But if you attack like actual members of the government, that's not terrorism. You're just like, that's like closer to war than terrorism. So I think the terrorism label is kind of misused and abused there. I think people like to use terms like terrorism and genocide to sort of make things that they think are bad seem, you know, like awful or dramatic, or like to kind of like hype people up and rile them up to get them to agree with them on their cause. Now, I will say what Renee Nicole Good did was still bad, right? She shouldn't have done what she did. She shouldn't have blocked the ICE agent. She shouldn't have been honking her horn obnoxiously. She should have gotten out of the vehicle when they told her to get out of the vehicle. All those things are true, but she could be doing all those things and not be a terrorist. I don't think she's a terrorist at all. That's kind of a misuse of that label to call her a terrorist.
First, waving the car by with her hand.
And I've seen all the agents, but I don't think that we've heard. I don't think that we've heard audio of what she was saying when she waved the other driver over. You know, there's a lot of things that I think she said maybe that we just haven't heard. But you know, I'll later go watch the video that has like all the angles, which should have all the audio as well. It should make it easier for us to hear everything that was said.
Then saying, "I'm pulling out."
I haven't heard her say that. That's interesting.
Then saying, "I'm pulling out."
Interesting.
Then screamed at by masked men with guns.
No!
Nobody screamed.
Then clearly fleeing. The idea that she broke bad and is attempting to run over and kill the officers is insane. She is clearly...
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that take as well. I think that she panicked. I think she didn't really know what to do in this situation. She probably wasn't expecting any resistance from law enforcement, because like a lot of times when these people get rough and rowdy and they act in defiance against ICE, nothing really happens to them. Maybe they get roughed up or whatever, but like people do like pretty bad things at these demonstrations and they don't get arrested. So she was probably thinking, oh, I can just do whatever I want with no consequences. And unfortunately for her, that ended up not being true. I do wish that, you know, we had more arrests of people who sort of like acted out in these types of scenarios when they're not being nearly this violent, or not violent, that's the wrong word to use, but before they get to this point. Like Renee Nicole Good had been to plenty of demonstrations, plenty of protests, plenty of obstructions, I believe, before she got to this point. When you decide to do activism against ICE, the first step usually isn't like getting in your car and blocking the road. Like that's like, it's not like, you know, the where you get your training wheels, so to speak, right? Usually what these people will do is they'll get on the ground, they'll chant and shout or whatever, maybe throw a water bottle, I don't know. But when you sort of like are spitting on officers or pushing and shoving officers, that's when you should get like arrested. And then maybe that will sober you up, rather than sort of like, you know, having the officers leave eventually and nothing really happening to you. I think that would probably have kept her from getting into the scenario. But here, clearly, I think she just panicked and didn't really necessarily care about whether or not she ran Jonathan Ross over. I mean, clearly she didn't care enough to not run him over or not hit him with the vehicle. But at the same time, I actually agree that her intent was not to do that. She panicked. She wanted to get out of the situation. She kind of like bit off more than she could chew, and then she wanted to spit it out. And turns out that, there are no refunds for bad decisions like these.
Trying to flee. Then he kills her.
Oh, shit!
There's no...
Yeah, shooting from here is crazy. Like, I think this is after the third shot, but it's still crazy that he shot from that angle. Now, I understand, of course, that, it's easy to look at this frame when paused and be like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. And, I think it's fair to be like, you know what? If you were in the same scenario, the viewer, if I was in the same scenario, maybe we all would have done the same thing that he did. But it doesn't mean that just because that's something you would do in the heat of the moment is something that you should do. And, officers should probably be trained to not do this. So,
Imagine not seeing this a different way. I think this is a fucking pure Rorschach test. I don't understand people taking this a different way. So she calls it domestic terrorism. Then Trump said she violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer.
I never liked that either. Like, willfully, sure, but violently and viciously is just like, at this point, bro, like, you're sounding like a cartoon character. Like, that's not really what it was like.
There is no way you could watch that video and say that what she was doing was violently, willfully, and viciously trying to kill his ICE
willfully, for sure. I mean, she did it, but not violently or viciously.
officer. It's an insane thing to say. She even said it's hard to believe the ICE officer is alive, but he's now recovering in the hospital. I want you to juxtapose that quote.
That's crazy. I mean, when she puts the foot on the gas, I think maybe some people would be like, I'm surprised, if I would be shocked if he made it out of the situation when he was standing in front of the vehicle and she was hitting the gas. But after seeing all the footage, it's like, But really, are we really gonna sit here and act like half the things that Trump says on Truth Social aren't just are like legitimate? Like, I feel like when Donald Trump makes posts on Truth Social, by default, you like should discount them and then evaluate the things that he says and things that are true. It's like, oh, okay, I agree with that. Versus like running into it and being like, well, I'll see how much I disagree with. Like, the way Trump spouts off on Truth Social, I find it aggravating, but that's a conversation for another day.
From Trump over the actual footage of this officer casually strolling away.
And also, the officer went to the hospital and I think wasn't even there for very long. So was he like actually still in the hospital recovering? I think it was just like evaluated and basically he got bruised or broken ribs or something relatively minor or trivial.
There is no way you cannot see this as a lie. There's no way. This is demonic. So then this woman comes out and says our officer followed his training and did exactly what he was taught to do. And I looked into this. There is absolutely no way that is true. ICE officers are trained to never approach a vehicle from the front.
Which is not what he did. Like, if you watch, there's more footage that came out. I'll react to that other footage, but that's not what he did. ICE agents have a protocol to surround a vehicle and get basically 360 footage so that you can identify the vehicle later on. You get the plates, you get the bumper stickers, you get the window stickers, you get any damage to the vehicle, unique colors or paint jobs, all that stuff. Helps them identify the vehicle later if they end up needing to identify the vehicle or look for them. Like if they say, oh, we actually want to charge these people. That's helpful. Now, I think he should have all done that when standing farther back from the vehicle. That's my thing. Like, he should have been like maybe 5-10 feet farther back from the vehicle. Like, officers, I've never seen footage of officers getting like really close to a vehicle the way that he did. Like, a lot of times, I've seen a lot of footage, right? FBI, local police departments, they all seem a little bit more restrained and a little bit better trained than ICE officers do. So like if you were to say, hey, let's pull back all the ICE officers and retrain them for a week or two, I would be down with that because you've got some ICE agents who very clearly don't know how to de-escalate. You've got some ICE agents who very clearly can be I don't think trigger happy is the word, because they're not necessarily running around just killing a bunch of American citizens, but they will, go straight to arresting people without, asking more relevant questions to get a fuller understanding of the situation. They're just like ways and tactics that, I wish that ICE would go about these scenarios that they just don't. Right. And I can completely agree and believe in and support the mission of ICE, which is, finding illegal immigrants, arresting them, and then having them processed appropriately, without agreeing with all the tactics that ICE uses to go about their business.
Which this guy did. Now, there's a lot of brand new rookie ICE officers who are getting thrown in with almost no training. But this guy, it turns out, was from since 2016. So he's a veteran. He would know never to approach a vehicle from the front. 90-degree angle.
Well, he
also
didn't do
instructed not to shoot at a moving vehicle. Firing at a vehicle will not make it stop moving in your direction.
It only use force if there's immediate risk of serious injury or death. He was in risk of he was in the immediate risk of serious injury or death when she pressed the gas before he got clear of the vehicle. So it's not like that first shot that I think is the only justified shot when it comes to both legally and when it comes to what a law enforcement officer should do, right? I think legally he probably would be cleared of all three shots, but when it comes to what an officer should do, only that first shot I think is what he should have done. Especially the third one is out of bounds.
So even all things aside, it's not even smart. It doesn't stop it, okay? The best thing to do is get out of the way. By the way, once she's shot and killed, the vehicle rolls to the right, far away, proving, again, that it was not even moving in the officer's direction. Then she said,
People need to stop using their vehicles as weapons. This domestic act of terrorism to use your vehicle to try to kill law enforcement officers is going to stop. And I'm asking the Department of Justice to prosecute it as domestic terrorism, because it's clear that it's being coordinated. People are being trained and told how to use their vehicles to impede law.
This is fucking insane.
Also, side note, I'm looking at the multi-chat. Let me know, chat. I am a pretty tolerant person. I don't really care what people say in my chat for the most part. But we did have someone in the kick chat use a slur. I think what I'm gonna do is, because I've been looking at this in the corner because I check my I check my chats. Let's see. I think this person, we're gonna time out this user. Wait, you can't time out someone for like a week? What? Maybe it's just the app. Wait, let me check the actual kick chat. Oh, and AI mod actually got rid of it. That's cool. Wait, I didn't even know that they had AI moderation on here. I actually would disable that if I knew that was a thing, because I prefer to do my own moderation. Yeah, I need to learn more about these platforms. St. Hayes. Oh, I can do a 1 week timeout on here, but can I do a timeout in social stream? That's weird that I can't do a timeout for a week. Huh. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I think like things like slurs, 1 week bans. Hopefully you learn your lesson. Yeah, let's do that. All right, hold on. Let me pull this up. All right, let's keep it pushing.
The idea that she was a domestic terrorist trained to use her vehicle and not a scared mother of three is fucking crazy, bro. This is her fucking glove box. It's fucking crazy. So you look at the shots. The first shot, you can look at his feet.
By the way, personally, I think that whether or not she had toys in her glove box is completely irrelevant as to whether or not the shootings were justified. Both people did bad things there. I don't think that her having anything in the... I think that you shouldn't be immune from repercussions from law enforcement because you have toys in the glove box. Like, I think that idea is a little bit silly. Now, of course, I understand, there's a reason why appeals to emotion are very, very powerful. But I think when it comes to evaluating right and wrong in a scenario like this, you can look at a scenario and be like, yes, it's a tragedy that Renee Nicole Good died. She shouldn't have been. I think that what she did isn't necessarily something that was like deserving of death, right? Especially because it doesn't seem like she was trying to run him over. But at the same time, you put someone in a scenario where, you know, they're in valid fear of their life, then they're going to use lethal force to you know, in response. But I think the sadness of how bad this shooting, the sadness of like the fact that a human being lost their life can sit side by side with the fact that, hey, you know, Jonathan Ross probably feared for his life and probably had reason to fire that first shot. I think those two things can live in the same house.
Dude, you can see him right here. He's able to get out of the way of this car, which is the #1 priority. Deadly force may not be used solely to prevent the escape. If you think the subject is just escaping, you can't use deadly force. Running from the cops is not. Well,
it says solely, right? He underlined deadly and not solely. Like, I think the first shot was definitely not a violation of this first deadly force policy, because I think that he did that in an effort to get her to stop. You know, one way to get people to stop doing what they're doing is to shoot them. That works. But for the other two shots, you know, I can't remember if he was clear before or after he fired that second shot. But there's certainly a third shot that was purely to prevent the escape of a fleeing suspect, right? So that's why I'm saying it's a lot more cut and dry when it comes to what a law enforcement officer should do. To say like that third shot definitely impromptu, the second shot they were unwarranted. And in fact, if you want to say, hey, you know, fire this person over what happened, I would not be opposed to that, because you're violating what's literally in the rule book for what's supposed to happen. And that violation maybe didn't cause her to die, because she probably died from the first shot, but contributed to her death, right? Still not something that you should be doing, right? So
reason enough to use deadly force. You could only use it if no other reasonable means of defense appear to exist. Which
right. So what other defense did Jonathan Ross have to prevent a moving vehicle from hitting him? Which, by the way, it still hit him. You know, there wasn't really anything else that he could do. He was too close to shoot the tires. Like, there wasn't really anything else that he could do. So he used the only method of force left to his disposal. Was he going to push and shove a Honda Pilot out of the way? No.
Includes moving out of the path of the vehicle, which he already did. He can and did move out of the path of the vehicle. The first shot, he's already out of the way.
He still got hit. Well, I'm you know what? Let me go easy on you, because you didn't know. I'm assuming. But he got hit.
But by the third shot, it is fucking crazy. That is a kill shot into a fucking mother's car.
Yeah, that third shot was and it's like, you can't. Oh yeah, this is interesting. So where did he get this from? This is really good analysis. Especially, I'm assuming that the other angles that more clearly showed what happened didn't exist this time. This is really good analysis that was a lot more spot on than some of the other stuff that he shared. But yeah, see, like, shot 3 is like very clearly not justified. I think even shot 2 might be put in there. But it just kind of, I'm a little foggy. It's been a few weeks since I saw that footage, so we'll have to rewatch that and see.
The shots 1 and 2 could only be justified if no safe avenue of retreat existed. Shot 3, the deadly force is only justified while the threat is ongoing. So even if you somehow thought shot 1 and 2 were fucking there, shot 3, he's out of immediate danger. There's no fucking way to justify it. There's just no way. And all this reporting I'm doing right here, not only the New York Times, this comes from the Washington Post.
Oh, that one's the Washington Post? Okay, it's a good article. Go read that, you know, if you want analysis on this.
Fucking magazine or paper that is owned by Jeff Bezos, who has donated millions of dollars to Trump. What I'm saying is, it's not even about your fucking politics. Anyone with eyes can see that this guy crossed the line. This officer needs to face punishment. This guy, Marine Corps veteran, if you are the guys with guns, you are responsible for the situation. Doubly so if you outnumber the person. There has to be a higher standard for the people in masks with guns that have been trained.
I don't think it matters that they're in masks, to be fair. I understand. It's like, oh, the guys with masks and guns. Like, it doesn't matter if they're wearing masks. Even if they weren't wearing masks, there is a greater responsibility on their part still to handle themselves appropriately. I agree with that sentiment.
And the mom in the car. And I talk about this a lot. I try to get points across to people that have different values than me. Okay, I understand.
And I do love that he does that. Like he is, I'm on the right. I'm center right. I would consider myself, but like Atrioc is, generally speaking, a rather empathetic figure and someone who does a really good job of not demonizing people on the other side of the aisle. That's why I continue watching him, even though he's on the left. Great person to watch if you're looking for a left-wing perspective, especially like a normie left-wing perspective. I think he's like a left-wing normie. I think it's like a really good way to position himself. He's not progressive. He's not social justice warrior. He's just someone on the left who plays video games and then hops on Twitch and talks about politics. Yeah, so he's really good when it comes to that. He's not just saying stuff here.
It points across to people that have different values than me. Okay, I understand. People are often talking past each other. Some people value certain things differently. Okay, but if you are somebody who feels like you have a fucking "don't tread on me" bumper sticker, I don't see how you've suddenly gone from this to supporting a masked militia of the government.
You know what? Let me let him finish the sentence. Actually,
killing people. I don't.
Okay, killing people. Okay. Killing in some circumstances is actually justified. But, you know, if we're talking about something that's not self-defense or not in the defense of the life of others, I understand, right? So if we're talking about that third shot, for example, I understand what he's saying here. Now, the whole "don't tread on me" thing is actually, you know, if you're familiar with libertarian politics, that motto and slogan is more reserved for like "don't trample on my rights," not like "don't kill me," which I guess, you know, one could argue that they're, you know, kind of go hand in hand, right? But generally speaking, "don't tread on me" is more like, you know, let me be, you know, deregulate, you know, the things I'm trying to do, stuff like that, than like, you know, "don't shoot me in the street." I think "don't shoot me in the street" is a little bit more of a broad sentiment that isn't just that "don't tread on me" isn't necessarily trying to get to. Also, it's missing an apostrophe. That is that's a little irksome.
Get it? People like this. This guy's saying if ICE is doing a raid in my neighborhood, leaving the safety of my own home is. She was a mile from home. Even if I had.
If ICE is doing a raid in my neighborhood, leaving the safety of my own is the last thing I would do. That's silly. Who is this person?
If ICE is doing a raid in my neighborhood, people. I don't get it. People like this. This guy's saying if ICE is doing.
Who is this? This is silly. Who is this person? It says if ICE is doing a raid in my neighborhood, leaving the safety of my own home is the last thing I would do. Even if I had to leave for work or something, I would drive in the opposite direction, not directly into the area. We already know she wasn't there by accident. Wait, I'm a little confused. This person here is talking about Renee Nicole Good leaving her home to go here and obstruct ICE. I see what this person's saying. Okay. I agree. That makes sense. But you have to understand that, like, for the left, they view ICE as, you know, I mean, Atrioc here called them a militia. They view ICE as essentially the Gestapo. They view them as people who are basically they're Nazi adjacent, you know, doing Nazi things, you know, just like looking for brown people to brutalize and kidnap. That's how like especially like the far left, like the people who would actually like go out and do demonstrations like this is their mindset. So you wouldn't do that because that's not your mindset, but you do it to put yourself in progressive shoes and understand why they're doing what they're doing, right? If you've been told, or you tell yourself or whatever, that ICE is basically, you know, Hitler's militias reborn, then, you know, it's totally understandable that someone with that mindset would go and do these actions, justified or not, because that's just what they believe about ICE, right? So, you know, maybe you wouldn't leave your home to confront them, but if you thought that the modern equivalent to the brown shirts was running around brutalizing people, you're telling me that you wouldn't do something to go and defend other people from that force? Like a lot of it's just like about perspectives, and a lot of it is about what you believe. I understand it can be hard to do that because we sort of live in this like world with two realities or whatever now, where it's like people on one side of the aisle believe one thing and people on the other side of the aisle believe the other thing. But you've got to at least give some consideration to what other people might be thinking and feeling.
A raid in my neighborhood, leaving the safe in my own home she was a mile from home. Even if I had to leave for work, I would drive in the opposite direction. The idea that your argument is that people should feel like they have to cower in the safety of their homes if there's ever a federal agent in their neighborhood.
This is silly. Okay, hold on, look. Have you ever been driving down the street and seen like a crime scene? Like the whole road taped off. I've actually seen this before. Whole road like taped off by police. I remember I was trying to go somewhere. I was driving down the street and I saw a road blocked off by police cars. There was caution tape and there were police cars parked horizontally with their lights on and officers walking by. You know what I chose to do? I chose to go around them. Now, does this mean that I was cowering in fear because there were agents in my neighborhood? No. It's because I understand that you've got officers taking care of some sort of scene. It turned out that there was just like a power outage or something. But in the traffic lights were out, so people weren't able to go through. But regardless, just because there are, the way I see it, if there are agents of law enforcement going about their daily business, you should not be interfering with them. You shouldn't be trying to drive through them. You shouldn't be trying to like mow them down. So for me, it's like, you know what? I'm going to go around them. I'm not cowering in fear, but I understand that these people have guns and they're probably dealing with a very serious situation right now. A situation so serious that they're blocking off the road with their lights on. That's common sense, but some people will throw that all out the window. Those people are ICE. Understandable, considering what everyone has been told.
Is fucking crazy. I don't understand how this is an argument. This guy, I'm trying to find sources that will get people to understand, even if you're not ideologically aligned with me. This guy right here, Greg Nunziata. Greg Nunziata was the general counsel and domestic policy advisor to fucking Marco Rubio. He's a Senate Republican Policy Committee. He's executive director for the Senate. He is Republican as it gets, bro. This guy is saying, I've watched the videos and the reflexive defense of it is grotesque. I don't understand where people are looking at his footage and coming up with these entirely insane conclusions.
I really like his sort of like dichotomy separating the lawfulness of the action to the what makes the action justifiable. Because yes, I think that maybe legally he could be cleared, but that doesn't make what he did justified.
That should just walk off scot-free. That he should shoot 3 rounds into a mom's car. It's crazy. The fucking Libertarian Party of Louisiana is saying that the shit for police state. Fucking 4chan is calling this shit out. I don't get it. Like, where is it? Just who are the people defending this? And then I got fucking the vice president of the country I live in going on fucking news and saying
the precedent here is very simple. You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy is protected by absolute immunity. He's saying that this officer has absolute immunity. What the fuck are you talking about? The reason we have these rules is because they applied to the officers. When you have
well, this is policy of how officers should behave. Doesn't mean it's illegal. If you're on the job, if you're on the clock and you do something that is against company rules, that doesn't mean you go to jail, right? So like these guidelines are not like laws that have been passed by like Congress or whatever. So you gotta separate what's illegal from what's wrong, from what's something you shouldn't do as part of your job.
Monopoly on violence, which the state does. They are the ones that are allowed to have guns, to physically arrest you, and in some cases kill you. You have to have rules and accountability, or it's a fucking thug owned by someone in power. There has to be rules and accountability. Of course there does. And especially in the past year and a half, ICE has gone from being already I think a problematic organization, but the masking is new. So now we have a rise of masked officers, which by the way has led to
Were they not always masked? I've seen footage, I think going back a year, of ICE being masked. Is that really new? Huh.
A lot of fake ICE doing robberies. The idea that there's just no accountability.
Wait, fake ICE? I've not heard of fake ICE doing robberies. Me and Craig of Craig Cam fame, we've been talking about this a lot offline. I really want to have him on my stream at some point to talk about this. We had a really good conversation, I think, another time on it's on YouTube. It's called like me and my liberal friend talk about immigration or whatever. But you know, we've talked offline about this actually, where it's like, you know, ICE is masked and they don't have badges or, you know, badge numbers or whatever. So it's hard to verify, you know, hey, are you actual ICE or not? Especially because like a lot of what they wear is like stuff that it feels like you could buy at like Party Central or whatever. So it's hard to tell, even if someone is an illegal immigrant, if they're being taken away by an actual member of federal law enforcement. So I was like, well, hey, you know, how do we know that people aren't being whisked away by like cosplaying Patriot Front members who are racist and trying to like, I don't know, collect bodies of illegal immigrants in their basement or something, like, you know, or doing robberies. Like, this is why you need, I don't even think that they all need to be unmasked. I think you need like badge numbers that can later be corroborated with, you know, wherever they're being deployed from, so that they can, if you just give them the badge number, they could be like, oh, it was this person who was set on this day. So now we know who did what action. So then you can refer them to be like prosecuted or whatever if they did something that's illegal, or just to verify that, you know, someone you come across is actually a member of federal law enforcement, versus just like people wearing generic camo clothes and masks is just like not helpful, and it's not good, because you need some form of both verifiability, I don't even know if that's how you say it, but also accountability. You can't really do that without some form of identification.
You can't, they can wear plain clothes or have a mask and they can kill people, and then the vice president will say they have absolute immunity is not a reasonable path for America. I don't care what policy side you're on. You have to agree that is not the right direction to go. And as I'm saying this, as I'm making these fucking slides a few hours ago and feeling like shit, during this time, 2 more people get shot in Portland. The FBI tweets this out and then deletes it. How is this normal? It's like, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that, I mean, tweeting it was weird. I do think they should have issued a retraction if they got something wrong, or made a following statement saying this information was incorrect, this is the correct information. I did think it was weird, but it turned out that those individuals were like Trinidad members who were fighting with law enforcement. So like, you know. So here's the thing. Like, don't let yourself get whipped up by like barely any information. This says, and I'm just gonna read this tweet here, this whatever. I'm gonna read this post here. Hold on, wait. Wait a second. I'm glad I didn't have anything sensitive on here, but that's the wrong monitor. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, so look, like, this tweet just says, FBI Portland is investigating an agent-involved shooting that happened at approximately 2:15 p.m. near the 10,000 block of Main Street, in Portland, involving Customs and Border Patrol agents, in which 2 individuals were wounded. This remains inactive. And maybe it's a typo, is why they retracted it, because it should say, this remains inactive in ongoing investigation by the FBI. Please follow this thread for updates regarding this matter. So, what about that is crazy or dramatic? Like, officers shoot people sometimes when they get to altercations. That happens. That happens. And sometimes it's justified and sometimes it's not. Don't let, like, blurbs with scant details get you so riled up when you barely even know what happened. At this point, I guarantee you he didn't know what happened, right? It was like, it took hours after this occurred for like the truth to come out about what took place. So like, you just have to be aware of kind of like what you see and what like gets your emotions riled up, and then kind of like take a breather and then wait to see what actually happened before you make a judgment about whether or not you support something that was done or you don't support what was done.
I just find it so frustrating that people, they can't even, listen, even if we disagree on immigration, the idea that there can't be any ICE officer who went too far. That there's not one fucking guy who didn't follow the training, that this guy can't suffer some consequences for killing a woman. That's the bare minimum. Trump had an interview that came out today that kind of like pulls this back into perspective for me. They did a wide range.
That marker's pretty cool. Where'd you get that marker from?
With the NYT today, 3-hour-long interview. And they asked him, are there any limits on your global powers? He said, yeah, there's one thing, my own morality, my own mind. That is not the country of the United States. That is not.
I mean, no. The thing is, he's kind of true. Like, the way that the government has operated, that's just how it's been. And we've got Idle Export here in the chat with emoji hydrate. Hey, Idle Expert, what's happening? This is my first kick stream, and I've already got two chats. One of them, no, 3 chats actually. Then we've got a spammer, got someone using the N-word, and then we've got you. So welcome to the stream. First normal person here. What's up? But the way that the government has operated, this is basically true, right? Obama drone striked an American citizen. There were no repercussions, right? So what limit was that when it came to his global powers? Actually, Trump did a bunch of sanctions, tried to do, not sanctions, tariffs unilaterally. That's global powers. Now, the Supreme Court did put him in check and say, you know what, those were unconstitutional, you've got to roll those back. But for the most part, there are very few things that people can look at them and be like, no, you can't do that internationally, just because of how we've allowed the Constitution to be eroded over time, in my opinion.
What the Constitution says, that's not what anything says. There's no precedent for a president saying the only thing that I decide is my own morality and my own mind. It's the only.
I kind of agree because, historically, even with the erosion of the Constitution, the Supreme Court has authority over the president.
They can stop me. This has to change. So 2026 is an important year, and that's why I'm bringing this up. Trump has said if we don't win the midterms, referring to Republicans, he'll get impeached. That's what he said.
Oh no, he'll get impeached. Bro, since when does that stop Trump from being president? Bro got impeached and still was president. Bro got impeached, and then he lost the following election, but then he won the election after that. So, like, him being impeached is inconsequential, I think. People are drumming it up to be a lot more important than it actually is.
Said. Now, I don't know whether impeachment will go anywhere, but it'll mean he has less power. He'll be a lame duck. And he has floated.
He's still a lame duck. He's still a lame duck. This is his second last term.
He said it as a joke, but he often starts things as jokes. Canceling 2026 election.
Policy, we have to even run against these people. Now, I won't say cancel the election. They should cancel the election because the fake news will say, he wants the elections canceled. He's a dictator. They always call me a dictator.
I just want to repeat that sentence.
These people. Now, I won't say cancel the election. They should cancel the election because the fake news will say,
I won't say cancel the election because then the fake news will say he wants to cancel the election. He's a dictator. Why would that be fake? If you said it and then they reported on it, why would that be fake? But
see, look, this is why it's good to take breathing exercises. Because very clearly, if you just watch, I think it's funny. He ran the clip twice and he still didn't get it. He was joking in the clip, made it clear he was joking in the clip, and then he was like, I'm gonna say this thing. Actually, you know what? I probably shouldn't say it because they'll take it to be serious. And then he takes it to be serious. Man, I like. There's sometimes where like I will look at people, and it's like it's not atriotic because this is kind of, probably the people who he consumes politically probably say things like this. The people he's around probably say things like this. He's with Caroline Kwan, who's pretty radical on the left. He is friends with Hassan Piker as well, who's also progressive. But it's just like sometimes I will see the way that people on the left process information, and I'm like, I don't even know. Like, how is this like something that even a real person even does? And like, yes, I know I'm crashing out. I'm getting stun locked on this. But like, seriously, when he says, I am joking about this thing, you know what? I shouldn't even joke about this thing because people will take it to be serious. How are you going to look at that and be like, he's serious? Like, that is an absurd in an uncharitable way to interpret what was said. That's bizarre. That's odd. That's crazy. For someone with a full grasp of the English language, it is unacceptable that you would interpret that statement in that way, in that form, in that sense. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, man. That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
He is clearly understanding. All the polling is underwater. Despite some people defending this, this is not fucking popular. There is no shot that the average American, even the ones that were like supportive of Trump immigration, are supportive of mass people coming in and shooting mothers in their fucking SUV. No shot.
Well, it depends on what the mother's doing. Like, I support the first shot. But in general, no. I mean, look, the idea that like people on the right are saying that I should just be running around and doing headshots on mothers is like a little bit preposterous, right? Because, you know, for all the charitability that I'm giving to the left, I mean, in terms of like, you know, oh, well, they think they're the Gestapo, et cetera, you know, you also need to be charitable to the right, where it's like, you know, people on the right, farther right than me, you know, I'm more center right. I'm a little bit more, I don't know, what's the right word? Suspicious, maybe. I scrutinize things that people on the right say a lot more than MAGA people do. But like people on the right, let's say the MAGA people, they're like, oh, well, she was trying to run him down with the car. If you believe that she was trying to run him down with the car, why wouldn't you also believe that he was justified in shooting her? Right? So like, I know you've already extended an olive branch to the right before. I've seen you do it, but extend another one. Like, I understand that it is emotional and it is very sad that like a mother has died. I would say unnecessarily, because she didn't have to die. But sort of, that could get you all amped up, which is fair. But also, when you're talking about the right, try to put yourself in the shoes of the right and understand where they're coming from, because that's something that's important to do, and especially if you're trying to speak across the aisle.
So as the midterms approach, this is getting scarier for him and people that have supported him. And they're floating things like canceling the election. And they're also simultaneously, right now, doing a lot of some underhanded stuff like mass voter roll purges in red states. Things that make it like,
I mean, those should be done in all the states. You know, you've got a bunch of dead people sitting in the rolls. That's something that always happens when they audit the voter rolls. It's like, well, this person is dead. Why are they still on the voter roll?
So you thought you were registered, and then suddenly you find out when it's time to actually do your poll that you're not registered. They're having these use it or lose it voting laws, where if you haven't voted in some elections, they'll just cancel your registration. And then
so let's read this here. Yet use it or lose it voting laws allow states to presume that a person has moved or is no longer eligible to vote if they haven't cast a ballot in recent elections. The process typically begins with a mailed confirmation notice. Oh, so you get a mailed confirmation notice. So they tell you, hey, are you still a voter? And then you don't do anything. What happens? Okay. So that sounds a lot more reasonable than what he's saying. So the voter doesn't respond and fails to vote within a set time frame, typically 2 or more consecutive federal elections. Federal general elections, about 4 years, their voter registration can be canceled without their consent or knowledge. Though often framed by lawmakers as voter roll maintenance, these laws functionally remove eligible voters from the rolls for nothing more than inactivity in one missed mail notification. I understand the rationale for this, because, like, if you believe that, you know, if you haven't voted in like 12 years, then you shouldn't be able to just like hop back in and vote. Like, I understand this perspective, but still, I am of the perspective that, you know, being able to vote is one of the most crucial rights that American citizens have. And I'm even to the point where it's like, if you're, I understand, right, that some people would say if you're a felon, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. But I think, hey, you know, as long as you're not actively incarcerated, then yeah, you should be able to vote. So, you know, me personally, I would oppose something like this. Now, I will say that if you've moved, then, you know, you should no longer be able to vote in a particular jurisdiction. So let's say that, like, you live in like Idaho and then you move to Missouri, then you shouldn't still be on the roll in Idaho. But that's a little bit different than what this is.
And you'll show up. And they say it's routine voter roll maintenance, but it's not. So I want to end this video by saying, I can't, if you have a similar, in some way, value system to me, and you can't stomach this, if this is not something you feel like is the right direction for the fucking country, then I actually sincerely encourage you to go to vote.gov and register to vote. It has a, like, these midterms are important, and I think you should check to make sure you're registered, because they're unregistering people. And the direction of these midterms is going to have serious consequences. It's important. And there is a chance to make him a lame duck on some of this policy, but only if it's like a real mandate here.
Well, you can't make him a lame duck as far as like whether or not he deploys ICE. That's not something that Congress votes on. But I will say that, like, yes, regardless of your political opinion, your political affiliation, go to vote.gov, vote in your midterms. There are people who only vote for president, which is crazy to me. Like, maybe if you lived in DC, I would get it, because DC doesn't have like a governor or whatever, right? They have like a mayor, but like, I don't know, like how much power the mayor actually has. But like, if you are, living in a state in America, then like you should be voting in your midterms. You should be voting in your local elections. There are council elections. There are, governor elections, senator elections, all types of elections that are very, very important at the local level. Hey, mayoral elections that will probably affect you greatly. So like, this idea that like you only have to be politically active once every 4 years, like it's like following Olympic sports, is a little bit ridiculous. And it's a little bit unfortunate. That's how a lot of people think. But I understand that people get busy or they find the news to be heavy, so they don't want to follow up on it all the time. But I just think it's very vital and very important because it affects everyday lives and it affects real people. It's extremely important.
So I'm just bringing this up. This is like this midterm. I do feel at this direction is like one of the last peaceful ways to make change. That's what I honestly feel. I know it sounds alarmist, but it's what I honestly feel. And so I'm encouraging that. And I also want to say, I'm a person, listen, if you disagree with me on fucking tariffs, or you disagree with me on, there's a lot of things you can disagree with me on, and I am often willing to find common ground.
I think I actually agree with him on a lot of economic things. Not all of them, but I think I've been a while since I've seen tariff videos, but I think I'd agree with him on tariffs.
Or intellectually listen to what you're saying and try to figure it out. But this tweet from Paul Graham kind of stuck with me. This situation, I feel like, has been a real Rorschach test of character. I can't imagine, if you've watched the videos, coming away with the idea that he should suffer no consequences. What he did was okay. That is how an officer of the law should behave. I don't understand that. That's not a bridge I can cross. And if you do think that way, I sincerely urge you to reconsider. It's not going to lead to a good direction for this country. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
You know what?
And I apologize for getting a little emotional in the middle. It's not something I want to be doing on stream, obviously.
It's a good take. I mean, to be fair, also, like, crying on stream is not new for Atriok. But I will say this, like, I know that, like, didn't Asmongold clown him for crying or whatever? Like, hold on. Asmongold, Atriok. Didn't he, like, clown him for crying or something? Like, hold on, let me see. Let me see if I filter by this month. Or maybe it was on X. Maybe was it on X? I don't know why this is the first link that shows up when I search X. What is this? No, hold on. Atriok Asmongold.
Crime. Not, you can call fleeing the scene a crime. Okay, you could say speeding or reckless.
And again, if you truly care about this issue, and I'm not.
Hey, that's what's up. That's Food Shops looking at Sleepy video. That's awesome.
What is this here? Asmongold calls Atriok pathetic for being emotional about the murder of Renee. Oh, of course, right? They're mad about this. What is this here? being emotional about this. Asmongold blew up his own mom. Oh, wow. This is a new one. Asmongold's inevitable Bud Dwyer moment's going to be sad. I don't even know who Bud
clip?
Dwyer
I want to see that clip. Hold on. Wait, what was it called? Wait, hold on. Okay, here we go.
Watch the Atriarch video. Oh, it was pathetic. I saw it. He didn't cry as much as he did when he got exposed for paying for AI porn of his friends' girlfriends, though.
That's true.
So, maybe a little bit of character development there. How pathetic.
It's not. I don't think it's pathetic to cry because someone died. Like that's not pathetic to me. Even if it's like someone who like died after being on death row for 15 years, like that's still sad. Maybe not as sad as like them killing other people that got to put in jail in the first place, but it's still sad to some degree.
Yeah, remember that? I do. I remember that. And so yeah, had to do a whole apology with his wife or his girlfriend there right next to him. He took a break from the internet. I mean, he makes good content, but I don't want to hear any virtue signaling from Atriarch.
I don't think that wasn't virtue signaling. That was legit. I find Atriarch to be a relatively genuine person.
Pack it up, buddy. Pack it up. You got emotionally manipulated. He actually said it four times, which is the exact right amount of reparations you need for retards. Not joking, you know it from running WoW raids. That's right. Get out of the fire, step out of the fire, move out of the fire, move away from the fire. And then...
I feel bad for laughing, but that's like literally true. Like, it's like, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car. Like... I feel bad for laughing, but he's kind of right about that.
They're like, oh.
But hold on, wait. So what was the response? Hold on, wait. So what was the response?
People on LSF completely crashing out on me. What is this here? Asmongold calls Atriarch pathetic for being emotional about the murder of Renee. Oh, of course, right? They're mad about this. What is this here? Being emotional about this. Asmongold blew up his own mom. Oh, wow. This is a new one. Asmongold's inevitable Bud Dwyer moment's going to be sad. I don't even know who Bud Dwyer is. These are people that are basically got banned for telling him to take a shower. I still stand by that. You didn't get banned for that. You probably got banned for spamming. Absolute human filth, and I'm not talking about his hygiene. Oh, of course. No, I think he's total. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. You're crying over somebody that's trying to drive a car at a federal agent, and the federal agent shoots them. Yeah, it's a tragedy that she got killed, but it's a tragedy.
If it's a tragedy that she got killed, then why is it unreasonable to cry over? It's reasonable to cry over tragedies. No one says what's wrong with you for crying over this tragedy that you're so lame and pathetic. Like nobody says that. So like, do you actually believe it's a tragedy, or do you not believe it's a tragedy, or do you think it's just bad to cry on camera? And men shouldn't do that. Like, if that's your take, then that's a little bit more reasonable. But either you believe that it's a tragedy or you don't believe it's a tragedy, you know.
Tragedy that she got killed, but it's a tragedy of her own making. And the basically body cam footage that got released today proved that. Anybody who didn't see the wheels spinning and her accelerating with this agent directly in front of the car, and like, if you didn't see that, you didn't want to see it. You didn't want to see.
Well, I mean, those angles were not eminently clear. They weren't clear from the jump, so.
It because it went against your worldview. But the fact is that it's true. Sure, you can say it's sad, but this entire performative shit and this, oh wow, this is such a sad.
Oh wait, does he think that he was crying performatively? I guess if you don't know Atriarch's content that well, I can see why that's what you would presume would be happening. But no, I don't think that's what's happening here.
Thing. Let's cry about this. I don't want to fucking see that. I don't want to hear that. It's total emotional guilt manipulation. And whenever it's coming from a guy that was paying.
No, I think that maybe he was emotionally manipulated to be like, oh, there are people in masks running around shooting mothers. Like, that's probably what he's been told. Maybe Caroline Kwan. No, hold on, wait. Am I? No, I'm mixing him up with Will Neff. Sorry. Scratch everything I said about Caroline Kwan. Why did I confuse Atriarch with Will Neff? That was uncharitable. But it's actually really funny. It's actually really funny. But no, yeah, like maybe he's emotionally manipulated, but I don't think he's trying to emotionally manipulate anyone. I think that he's speaking from the heart and saying what he believes.
For AI porn of his friends' girlfriends, I don't want to even take a second to look at what their moral compass is and try to base mine off of it. Actually, I do. I'll do the opposite. I don't think so.
Which is absurd. I don't think it's like, oh, you know, you looked at lurid content made by AI, so therefore everything that you say must be morally invalid. I reject that notion. However, it's actually kind of funny that there are probably people who like lean on every single one of Atriarch's words, who, you know, didn't like that he viewed the lurid content, which is fine, but then will say, oh, because Asmongold didn't shower a few years ago, that, you know, all of his opinions are valid. That's pretty hypocritical, right?
Again, I don't hate Atriarch. I just don't want to be patronized by him, especially not by something like this.
I don't think he's patronizing you, man. Maybe you're saying you don't feel like patronizing him? Understandable. Understandable.
What? No, I'm serious. Look it up. Yeah, look it up. Sometimes you compare and see what fits, definitely. And yeah, so people cry about this. They get upset. Another Destiny viewer posts. I'm not surprised one bit, of course. And
well, most people on there are Destiny viewers now. Destiny has sort of taken over that sub.
And yeah, I'm losing every past respect. This person. Guys, I really hate to say this. People's respect for me is irrelevant. I don't do it. Why would I care about somebody's respect? Who gives a shit? Like, why would I do something for other people's approval, and then if I'm not getting their approval, oh no, maybe now I have to change my behavior? That's not how I work. I like it when...
But maybe he's not saying that for Asmongold, though. Maybe he's just saying that because it's true. That's fair, right?
People agree with me, and I appreciate the positive posts. But the negative posts aren't going to stop me. Cry about it all you want. It's a fact. Play the XQC clip.
Okay, yeah, that went to a whole other topic. But yeah, so I mean, I understand where Atriarch's coming from, and I think that the video was relatively reasonable. I do like how he distinguished that, hey, that third shot where he was very clearly clear of the vehicle, Jonathan Ross was very clearly clear of the vehicle. You know, you can't really justify that from a perspective of this is what a law enforcement agent should do. You know, I really appreciated that. Because a lot of people were sort of like black and white, where it's like, oh, all the shots were unjustified, or the shots were justified. I appreciate that you took a relatively nuanced statement perspective on it. But I think if I was to give one piece of advice to Atriarch, which he most certainly will never see this, I mean, 10 people probably won't even see this video, but one piece of advice that I would give to Atriarch or his fans or whatever is to try to have a little bit more empathy with people on the right and understand where they're coming from, understand why they have this knee-jerk reaction to defend ICE at every turn, to defend every single thing that Trump does or says, rather than condemning them for doing so. Your understanding, by the way, of them being in lockstep with Donald Trump at every turn doesn't justify their fanaticism or their cult-like mentality towards the man. It just explains it and helps you understand our political landscape a little bit better. So that's a major pushback that I would give towards Atriarch on that. Hold on, let me see. Renee, all angles. Okay, I want to react to this. Let me see if I can find it.
After the deadly...
I know that someone made a video of this with all angles. Where can I find this? Does anybody in the chat, if you guys are in the chat, know where the video is? Someone made a video where it's literally like all of the angles played like at the same time. Let me see. I hate to search Reddit for this, but like, was it on Reddit? Okay, here we go. I found it. Okay, yeah. So it was, oh no, wait. Why is it searchable on Reddit but not YouTube? Weird. Anyways. Okay, hold on. So we're gonna react to this. This is the full video of Renee Nicole Good getting shot. So this is with context. These are all the angles that are available, I believe, at this time. This was uploaded 2 weeks ago. See if this person released the updated. Yeah, this person did not release the updated version. Okay, so yeah, so let's take a look at this in case you guys are not all caught up on everything that happened with Renee Nicole Good or haven't seen all the angles. This indisputably will show you every single angle of the shooting and the context. I don't know who the bozo was banging the drum. So if you look in the upper right hand corner, you see Nicole Good's SUV. So it starts off parked, then she goes and blocks the road, and she's honking here constantly. Got lower right hand corner, you got agents milling about. Now as they see that Nicole Good is, you know, having her vehicle perpendicular in the street to the flow of traffic, they go up to confront her. You see them start to drive their vehicles over towards her. Got agents starting to mill about and walk in her direction as well. Maybe they found this annoying, I don't know. This is crazy, this is sad. And like, one thing too is like, if you saw, like, there's if you watch this in 4K, this is uploaded by RASTA4AYE. I don't know how to say that. Rastafari. Okay. But like, if you watch this in the full quality or whatever, she's like dancing while she's talking like, da, 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 da. Like, this looks like not just activism, but like a mental health episode, which makes this a bit worse to me because it's like, it's one thing to die because you were using too much force while doing some activism or whatever, or you stepped out of line when confronting cops. It's another thing where it's like you are having a mental health episode, which isn't really something you can control. It's not, you're not going to be like, I'm going to have a mental health episode today. Like, it's just something you can't control. But like, to have a mental health episode that causes you to die is like a shame. When like, if you were in your right mind, you probably wouldn't be doing stuff like this. So she stopped talking now. So the road seems clear. Okay, so we've got one car driving by. Okay, so that's interesting. So one car that's not affiliated with ICE drives by. Nicole Good backs out to let that person through. And then we've got other vehicles trying to drive down the road. So she's blocking a full lane, but people are able to go around her to the left and to the right. Okay, so that gray SUV is Jonathan Ross's vehicle. So now you've got Jonathan Ross going and approaching the vehicle, along with I think at least one or two other officers. All right, we've got another vehicle. I think it's another ICE vehicle driving in her direction as well for stopping. And we've got another non-ICE affiliated vehicle driving past. Got another yes, now you got traffic starting to build up here. So now she's obstructing the flow of traffic and causing some congestion on the street here. You do have some, you know, the ICE vehicle, Jonathan Ross is able to go behind Nicole Good's vehicle and then stop behind it, but still, let's just stop past it. But still, you get a lot of civilian vehicles who are like kind of like slowing down because, you know, Nicole Good is blocking the road and they're not quite sure what to do because they also see ICE is there. So it's causing some congestion here on the street. Hearing some people shouting. All right, here we go. Then we got the Ross phone footage here, which is pretty pivotal in my opinion. I think if Atriok might not have said everything he said in that video, in that stream, if he had access to this, if he had access to this footage. All right, and now we've got sirens going on. So now very clearly it's like, hey, you know, cut it out. Like that's usually what sirens mean from law enforcement.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
Like that, like it's always the eyes, man. It's always the eyes. And it's hard for me to look at that and be like, she's in her right mind. This is something that she's doing, you know, with, you know, 100% of her cognitive abilities.
I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine.
So their Good's wife makes it clear that, you know, what they're doing, and also that they've come across this before, but that what they're doing is getting a 360 video of the vehicle to get down the plates. Now we've got a bunch more angles here. So Ross goes around the vehicle.
You want to come at us? I said go get yourself some lunch.
And so the wife is, you know, talking trash to Jonathan Ross here. Okay, now you see one agent to the left of Good's vehicle say, get out of the car. No! Someone said, I don't know who's saying no. Okay, then you've got the wife saying, drive, baby, drive. Good backs up and then accelerates while Ross is still in front of the vehicle. So he's bumped, but I'll run this again. I've watched this video before. He's bumped before he fires that first time. No! Which you can tell because you hear him getting bumped. No! Yep, so it's like boom, pow, pow, pow.
What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? You are fucking criminals! You're fucking criminals! Dude, you did a murder for what? What the fuck? What the actual fuck? You are fucking insane!
If you're watching this live, I do apologize for all the language. I guess the Kick viewers probably don't mind. But I will say also, I haven't seen this whole video before.
What did you do? You! Shame! 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 Shame!
So the officer, so you got a bunch of other ICE agents heading towards Good's body. Ross is heading back to where the agents had their vehicles and is telling them to call 911, presumably to get medical aid or like a ambulance or something down there because Good is presumably dead, if not mortally injured.
Shame! Shame!
Now you've got some ICE vehicles slowly heading into the direction of, I think, where Good is, it looks like. Got this car driving with with lights. Yep, so you've got one car driving over to this on the side, and then looks like the ICE vehicle parks. Okay, so now you've got agents trying to secure the scene here, telling people nearby to stand back.
Dude, you shot her! I'm trying to help! No! You fucking shot someone in the fucking face! You shot someone in the fucking face!
I will say, you know, for as distraught as the people are, which is absolutely reasonable, they seem to be doing a really good job of not actually interfering with the scene, despite, you know, understandably, especially someone in their mindset. I'm actually relatively impressed that they're not like interfering with the agents and contaminating the scene there.
Do you have a conscience? Do you have a conscience? Don't let the murderer leave! Don't let the murderer leave!
Yeah, so Jonathan Ross in his vehicle is driving the other direction to Renee Good.
You guys are the fucking criminals!
It looks like he's trying to leave.
You don't get to tell us what to do! Fucking criminals! Don't let him leave!
I don't know why he's turning his vehicle to 360 direction.
Don't let him leave!
So now he's turning it around so it's facing Renee Good's vehicle again. And he's driving, it looks like he's driving past. Yep, and he's leaving.
No! Get the fuck out of our neighborhood!
So now you've got a Subaru driving up, and it looks like a civilian, but stops in front of an ICE agent. As an ICE agent blocks the area.
They just killed that lady right there in that car, y'all.
We're here!
Killed that lady in that car. Somebody come get their people. It's a lady right there in that car, y'all.
Yeah, like what the absolute fuck, man? What the absolute
show this on
fuck?
Facebook like that, y'all. I apologize.
Do you have a conscience?
Well, y'all.
Do you have a conscience? Do you have a conscience?
So now you got more agents. You got more agents heading up into the area, driving their vehicles and then parking with their sirens on.
Hi, man. This is a time to have a conscience. This is not okay. This is not okay.
Y'all know who car this is. If it look familiar, man, come check on y'all people.
Get a fucking conscience.
So now you've got, you know, one civilian here shouting at an agent and giving him a piece of her mind.
Y'all know somebody car like that, come check on y'all
Getting closer to the agent.
people.
Pulling your fingers. All right, then backing back up to the median.
Watch out, man. Watch out.
Y'all know who car this is? Tell them to come check on their people.
You okay, mommy?
Whoa. Wait, hold on. Let me rewind. Because it looks like we do have some people encroaching on the scene to the point where there are several ICE agents who go into the direction and seem to point a gun at them, telling them to back off. This is the angle on the left here.
You okay, mommy?
So why did you have real bullets? It's an interesting question.
You know how black people is. Phone up, she thick as hell. What you talking about?
You know,
cold in a motherfucker. I'm shaking that shit forward. This lady got blood. They don't, she was in the car with her, bro.
Can I go check a pulse?
No! Back up! Now!
I'm a physician!
Hey, listen, we understand. We got EMS coming. I get it. Just give us a second. We have medics on scene. We have our own medics.
Where are they? Where are they? How can I relax? You just killed my fucking neighbor! You caught butter in the fucking face!
Hey, was you riding with her?
My fucking neighbor! How do you show up to work every day? How the fuck do you do this every day? You're killing my neighbors! You're stealing my neighbors! What the fuck, man?
Did you call any of your peoples yet?
We're new here. I don't have...
So you don't got none of her family members or anybody number? Do you know anybody on her Facebook? Alright, damn.
So people are starting to get a little bit more rowdy now. I think they're probably pretty upset that she hasn't been attended to medically yet.
Oh my gosh, this is horrible, y'all.
Okay, so I don't know if these are the medics here, but someone's rushing. Someone with ICE is rushing the vehicle, Renee's vehicle.
I don't want to show y'all this other shit. I'm not gonna show y'all this shit on there.
Your medics are here.
But they just killed her, bro. They just killed her. That lady right there in the car, they pulling out. They shot her in the head, bro. That was her wife. They just walked off. Y'all doing too much out here, ICE. Y'all see what y'all just did? Y'all just killed an innocent person. Y'all going for the wrong people. I'm shaking like a motherfucker. Y'all gotta excuse me. It's cold as hell. Oh my God.
I'm surprised your armor angles.
Man, I just smoked this lady right here, cuz. I just smoked this lady right here, bro. Hit her in her shit. Her wife was in her car. Her wife up over there with blood all up over her face and shit, bro. Like, they guys just really came out here tweaking, bro. I was in the crib chilling. Just heard some shots. Come out here and these motherfuckers done did this. It's cold as hell. I'm shaking this shit, folks. And I'll leave the camera. Hold on. Yeah. That's her, y'all.
Yep. So the medics and officers seem to be carrying Renee Nicole Good's body away.
ICE done killed her. Man. Fucked up. It's too cold out here though. Motherfucker, can I keep the camera still for shit? They only supposed to do shit like that. It's a crime scene. This is a crime scene. They only supposed to do that kind of shit. Then get the fuck out of the way. Get the fuck out of the way.
What the fuck is going on with these people? What the fuck you thought? Fuck this here. This is serious. This ice.
ICE just smoked that lady.
That's ice.
They just killed her.
So now you've got civilians trying to drive through this area that I guess because of all the people shouting on the sides or whatever, they had to move to the sides to secure the scene horizontally, but they can't secure it vertically. So now you've got all of these civilian vehicles driving through the street, which should be secured because it's a crime scene, to keep the people on the sidewalks from encroaching onto the scene from the sidewalks. This whole thing is a mess.
They smoked the lady in the head, bro. They just took her down there. They just took her right down there, bro. On my mama, that's all the blood right there. Bro, her wife was just sitting right here, bro, with blood all over her face from the lady, bro. Her wife was just right there. She walked down that way. They shot her? Yes, bro, they just smoked it. You ain't just hit a shot. That's why I came outside. Nigga, I'm in the room chilling on the phone with the homegirl. Now, boom, boom, boom. Before they outside shooting, I look out here and see ice out here before they done smoked this lady. You know what is locked though like that. This is a main strip. I don't know exactly what happened, but this bitch sold up. I can't even do all this shit because I'm trying to get out the way. Yeah, I'm good, cuz. Damn. No, not the opposite, nigga. This all ice out here, boy. These people going crazy. Anybody who watching, man, they just smoked this lady, man, and took her body out and took her body all the way down there to the other end of the corner. Got all the white clown wet ass motherfucker. They done smoked her right in front of her wife, bro. Her wife was just right here with real, like, brain matter on her face, bro, like no cap.
And that's rough to watch. You know, that is tragic, right? I mean, regardless of whether or not you think Renee Good was in the right or the wrong, I think that, you know, none of us should really be, you know, giggling with glee over the fact that she got shot and killed. So I don't know if anything has happened to Jonathan Ross. I certainly hope that he has sort of been like at least suspended for a little bit or something. I don't know if there are any federal legal cases pending in regards to Jonathan Ross, but I thought it would just be important for me to share this video where it showed all of the videos synced with all of the available angles so you can have a completely full understanding of what happened. And there could be no doubt as to what took place here. I know that there were some people debating as to, you know, what was said, what wasn't said. But I just wanted it to be clear for you guys so that there's no confusion about what happened. What is this? Audio only? Trump gaggle? I wonder why that's audio only. Oh, let's see. We've got this video here. This is from They Should Make Large. Oh. This is from They Should Make Larger Fruits. This is called What It's Like Living in Minneapolis recently.
It's a really weird time to live in Minneapolis. It's been very difficult.
And I think this person, any description on They Should Make Larger Fruits, which is a really interesting YouTube channel name, by the way.
This past year, really, there's been a lot of shit going down here. Most recently, the ICE agent killed a woman in broad daylight. But just a few months ago, we had the school shooting. It was only a few years ago still that we had the George Floyd killing. And it's hard. The city is beautiful, and the people in it are my favorite people in the world. I would not be here, and I would not be the same were it not for all of my friends, my entire community, everyone around me that has made such a beautiful city exist. I'm so in debt to the whole city around me and how much love and what a home I've been given. I've never felt like anything was home, really, until past few years, really. I mean, I've lived in Minneapolis for a while, but it's felt like...
I do wish I knew more about what Minneapolis is like other than like a place where tragedies happen.
The place I'm going to live. And this will be my home. This is my point of origin. It's just so hard. It's just so hard when horrific things happen. Just evil things occur.
Yeah, I guess it could be feel really weird when like breaking news, especially like national stories, happen where you live. You know, it's got to be like, huh. I mean, it doesn't happen to me often, but like when it does, it's like, wow. You know, like, I don't know.
And I just have to keep going on because this is my home. This is the place where I'm living. I'm going to live here, and it just sucks. Shit is just... Bad things happen all the time here, and it's so close. It hits so close. My heart goes out to the family and the friends who have been affected, like, directly by the ICE shooting.
And we all should be praying for those people, by the way, regardless of which side of the aisle you stand on, right? Like, I mean, I don't think her kid asked for her mom to get shot, nor the dog who was in the car asked for her to get shot.
And I know firsthand what the people in my community have felt and what they have suffered through because of ICE. And I say this from the bottom of my fucking heart. I hope that every fucking ICE agent gets the fuck out of Minneapolis and never comes back.
Oh, he's like, I guess, is he against ICE or, you know, immigration enforcement?
From the bottom of my fucking heart. And we do not want you here. We do not want you to terrorize our community any longer. It's fucking evil. And if you can justify that within yourself, if you can justify that for other people, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to live in the same community as you. I do not.
Wait, so what you're saying now is like if you oppose, if you support the enforcement of immigration laws, then, you know, that's someone that they just don't want to, you're just going to completely ostracize themselves from you. Like, this mindset is very common for people on the left, especially the tolerance. You could tell how tolerant they are by all the people that they don't tolerate. But this is like a reality that I think people on the right need to face, where it's like, you know, there are people who want you eradicated from their society, if not the earth, for disagreeing with you politically because they've moralized their positions, right? So I think that the best way to look at American political systems, and when you're entrenching yourself in your beliefs and positions, is that like this is the best way for the government to perform its duties. But there's some people who look at things and they're like, this is moral and right and just. A lot of times they intersect, but not always. And sometimes you could have multiple moral and just ways to go about things. Some of them might be the best, some of them might not be the best ways to go about things. So but then of course you also have people who are like, oh well, if you disagree with me, you should just be eradicated from my community or society, which is like very hostile, very intolerant. But it's common, especially on the progressive left, and I think it's something that it would do the right wing community a great service to be objective and clear-headed about.
Think that is right to treat people the way that ICE has been treating people. I think we can have disagreements on a lot of things in politics, and I can hand wave a lot of like stupid people saying things I don't disagree with, or saying things I don't agree with. But this is one of those things I will never fucking budge on. If you justify the presence of ICE in Minneapolis or any other city and think that what they're doing is right, I will never have any kind of like friendly talk to you. I don't respect you. I don't think that you are worth conversing with.
Is that real sheep's hair? But, to be fair, that, you know what, that might have been over the line. I don't know. Maybe that might have been over the line. I apologize for that joke, actually. But, as funny as it might have been. But, shoot, there was something I was going to say. Oh, yeah. So, to be fair, right? Like, for most people, it's not exclusive to the left, right? People on the right will do this as well. I know this full well, being a member of the pro-life community. It's very common for people to try to be tolerant, but then to have a line where it's like, if you believe this, I am no longer friends with you. Like for a lot of people on the left and the right, that's racism, right? But it's like, if you're racist, I will not be friends with you, right? Kind of normal. But like for things where people have very strong moral stances on them, it's very common for them to be like, you know what? I refuse to ever associate with them. And it doesn't have to be like just racism. It can be whatever it is that they're personally passionate about. For a lot of people, because they've been told that ICE is like the modern day Gestapo or whatever, for them, they feel very strongly about opposing Nazism, and rightfully so. So they will be like, if you support ICE in any way, you will no longer be a friend of mine. I see this on the pro-life side, where there are people who will, I think there are people who will literally cut off others for supporting abortion. I try to engage with that as little as possible, just because I think that I would love to be a bridge for all ideologies. And so like, if you come to me with one ideology, I would love to engage with you and be like, hey, you know what? I'll listen to your point of view and I will share with you mine. I'll ask you, hey, have you considered, these things that people on the other side of the aisle have said? Or do you see how your thinking may or may not be flawed in this way or that way? But I mean, not everyone wants to be like me, right? So, and I'm not saying that to brag, but not everyone has the mental energy to, to sit around hobnobbing with people who disagree with them on things that they are strongly passionate about, right? And that's just not like even in like most people to do. I do wish more people would be willing to be friends regardless of politics, but this is just like how society is at the moment.
Because you clearly don't care about people. I care about people deeply. I try to care about people deeply. I'm not perfect, but I see the fucking terror that this has brought on my city, and I'm just appalled. I'm truly appalled. It's just upsetting.
So, as much as I disagree with this person's point of view, I think it's really good and important to sort of listen to the perspectives of the people in these areas, right? Especially when they are presenting those thoughts directly to you. I think this person presented the ideas in like a calm and relatively respectful way, about as respectful as you can be while being also intolerant. So I think it was really important to sort of just like shine a spotlight on this perspective because, yeah, a lot of times people don't even stop to think, like, you know, the people on the ground, how are they affected by what happened, right? I mean, you saw in the video that we reacted to earlier, there were neighbors who were like, oh, she was my neighbor that just got shot. So yeah, like it's a very important video to watch. If you guys watch this with me, I do appreciate it. This is not the type of video where it's typically like, oh, right versus wrong. This is just like sitting down and hearing a perspective of someone who lives in Minneapolis and giving some succinct thoughts, but primarily being here to listen because I think listening is extremely important. I got one more video. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pause on this video. We're not going to react to this video today because we need to leave some stuff in the menu for future streams. Now, I wanted to get through a whole lot of political content and political stuff in the stream because if the next stream is going to be a Bros and Peace stream, gaming stream, first of all, I want to make sure everything for the multi-streaming is working well, working properly. Also wanted to get the political stuff out of the way so that we can just focus on the gaming for tomorrow's stream. So tomorrow's stream will be entirely gaming, and I'm really looking forward to bringing that all to you. Hold on, let me turn this on here. So you guys know how I roll, for those of you who are not new to the streams, but for those of you who are new to the streams, every single time I wrap up one of these streams, I always shout out each and every single person who sent a message to my chat, and it's exciting because I am multi-streaming and I've gotten messages from people on 2 of the 3 platforms that I'm streaming to right now. So I got a message from Mr. Pizza. Thanks, Mr. Pizza, for sending messages into the chat. I do appreciate you dropping by. And please, please, please stream some more because I will watch you if you stream, especially Fortnite. I don't really love playing Fortnite very much, but I will watch it. It's one of my favorite esports to watch, actually. We also had Saint Hayes on Kick popping in to say the N-word. I appreciate you sending a message. That probably helped with my analytics. That's all I'll say. I've timed you up for a week. I hope you come back once you've cooled off. Be interesting to engage with some Kick people. Also, Idol Expert here on the in the Kick chat as well, sending an emote. Nice to see you here. I would love to see emote chats. Eventually, it's like, you know, like Martin Luther King had a dream. Well, I have a dream that one day I'll have like a whole bunch of emotes in my multi-stream chat. That'll be very fun. But anyways, thanks everyone for tuning in. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into my inaugural stream from this new setup. Let me know what you guys think about it. Eventually, I plan on getting a green screen in the back so that I can have like a little bit more of a professional feel to everything. But yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Join the Discord server. Link is on screen below. dscrd.ngwb.cc is the place you want to be. If you want to chat with me, you can send me messages, talk to me about various things. We've got channels for all different types of stuff. Also, I have a React request channel where you guys can send stuff for me to react to during the stream. So for example, this stream, almost everything I reacted to was from the React requests. So you send me a React request, I'll consider reacting to it on the stream. If it's like a 2.5 hour long dissertation, I might not react to it. But if it's a reasonable length and it's interesting, I'll try reacting to it when I get the chance. Thanks each and every one of you for tuning in. Don't forget, I'm now live on YouTube, as well as Kick, as well as Rumble. I also am now on Rumble, and on Rumble now, as well as YouTube, on the Non-Newbie Highlights channel. I will be uploading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon, as long as there's time to edit the videos. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next stream, hopefully tomorrow. Peace out, y'all.